Oh, the shadows we cast in twilight gloom at the land that divides us. Our hearts find no room, the stripes of discord, the fields of disdain. We march to the dissonance, our fractured refrain. With no gleaming stars, just darkness above. No unity we find, no binding love. When freedom falters and justice bends in this shattered land, our hope descends. The flag of division we unfurl high, a symbol of discord where truth and trust die. No land of the free, no home of the brave, only chains of discord, a nation enslaved. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, worship the frog and welcome to the Fluffenhammer. Good evening.
Every man lives, not every man truly dies. Rock, let's get out of here.
Guns might be that way. Let's go the other way.
Hello! I thought this was a Warhammer Games Workshop podcast, not like a discussion about Brexit Britain.
No, that actually is the Star Spangled Banner rewritten to be the very opposite of every single word.
I like that one better somehow.
I was going to do it with our national anthem, but then I realised I would just be writing a country song because it'd be Devil Take the King, which is...
It's quite cool, actually.
I mean, it could be a death metal song, Devil Take the King, but all I could hear was like, ba 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 bum, the devil take the king, ba 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 bum, and I just I can't do it. But that one I quite enjoyed.
You could try doing it for Jerusalem, but the thing with Jerusalem is it was originally a poem by William Blake, and it already means, it's already ironic. It already means kind of the opposite of what it seems to be saying, which is why it's really amusing that it's been taken up by nationalists and whatnot. Because William Blake was a fervent anti-nationalist.
That's what's the saying? You either live the hero or live long enough to be the villain. You know, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's why I've got a big ruler ready to wrap the knuckles of anybody who comes after Pratchett. It's like, no, back off. How are we all doing this evening, my fine gentlemen?
Yeah, good. You know, just recovering from lots and lots of work. I think everyone is at the moment. It seems to be a theme.
I think it's just life. Life just doesn't stop, does it?
No, not really. I mean, lots of good stuff as well. I mean, you know, not to plug it too hard, but that Hellraiser DVD set is up for pre-order now.
Excellent.
Why is it a DVD set? Not it is Blu-ray as well, right?
It's Blu-ray. Yeah, it's a Blu-ray set.
God.
Sorry, I'm just using DVD sort of colloquially. Yeah. It's a Blu-ray set. It's a special edition Blu-ray set. Yes.
No, George only does commentaries on films that are on VHS.
That'd be amusing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you can't change back to a normal soundtrack. It's no, just George. All George, all the time.
You know, I kind of enjoy it if they'd gone down a really pretentious kind of route and went, yeah, we're doing this as a VHS release only or a Betamax release only. I would have been like, oh man.
Yeah.
Now you got me thinking, can we release all the episodes of the Fluffenhammer on VHS?
On VHS, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, we could do.
I want to do it.
Take a lot of them, I think.
Oh yeah, it would take 123 now. So yeah. Although,
oh my god, yeah.
I was going to say we could do it on long play. No, long play only gave you 4 hours. And,
I was going to say, yeah.
No.
Oh my god, I'd forgotten that you could record on long play or short play. Fucking
That's
hell.
Right, yeah.
I'd forgotten about that.
Every Christmas, what I would do is I would look at the running time of the films I wanted to record, and I would work out how I was going to get them, because I could sometimes get 3 films on a single long play video if it was one of the extra big videos. And yeah, that was good stuff. And as a result, I'm thinking back here, I think I had Jurassic Park, Terminator 2, and Die Hard 2 on the same. That's
a good video. Wow.
Was it Die Hard 3? Might have been Die Hard 3. No, it'd been Die Hard. No, it'd been Die Hard 2. Die Hard 3 would have been 96 that came out. So yeah.
Very involved medium, wasn't it? VHS.
I remember sitting there trying to record me playing Sonic the Hedgehog onto a VHS.
Yeah.
I'm thinking back, it's like, why were you doing that?
So that was like almost like the antecedent of a Let's Play, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why were you doing it? So you could show people?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I think, and this probably says more about me than anything else. I think what I wanted to do was have clips of Sonic in between recording the SatIM show.
I see. So you were like trying to customize the
so I think it was
experience,
an episode, and then you'd have a clip of Sonic running through the levels from the games, and then you have the next episode. And I think that's what I was trying to do. Is it any wonder I've ended up where I am now? That's somewhat concerning, really.
Yeah, I do. It's odd, but it was shit. But I do miss it. I miss the clunkiness of it for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. There's something about the dunk clunk that always makes me happy.
Process. There is something about the process of it. Having to rewind the fucking thing, and then, of course, inevitably the tape player would snarl up your favorite one.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever had that happen.
Did you not? Oh, yeah,
no.
A couple of times.
Here's one for you then to go right back to the. Oh, by the way, do you like my White Dwarf shirt?
I can barely see it.
Can't see it.
Yay!
The first issue of White Dwarf I ever bought with my own money.
Oh God,
so
that's very cool.
I also now have a Ward Orcs T-shirt, which makes me very happy.
I think mine was the one with the Dark Angels on the front, where you got the little paper barricades.
Oh God, remember that one? Jesus, yes, yeah.
100 and I want to say that was in the 190s, if not the 200s. I'd have to look.
My first one was it was the one that had the second edition of Blood Bowl on the cover with the Minotaur.
Mm-hmm.
It was yellow and it had like a big Minotaur on it. That was my first issue of White Dwarf.
You sounded like somebody talking to a librarian there about a book you read in childhood. It was yellow and had a Minotaur in it.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But no, I remember the bunker, the cutout bunker. That was.
I remember that. I remember making it.
I did as well. That's something I need to scan. Actually, I did a quick scan of the long bunker, which came much later for the Discord. But I need to go back and scan that one. That's a different one. I need to scan with my little handheld.
That's really cool
scanner.
Because you can sort of like connect it to other bunkers and make like a whole battlefield out of it, which is kind of fun.
Out of cereal boxes.
Yes, they told you how to make it out of cereal boxes, didn't they?
And if you remember, the picture had the cereal box turned inside out, so you couldn't see which cereal box it was.
Yes, that's right.
If I ever get hold of Jervis Johnson, I'm going to ask him what cereal box he was using. What
cereal box went into the Imperial bunker?
Absolutely, I desperately want to know.
The strongest cereal.
Yeah, it wasn't actually the cardboard they used. They were just mixing the old bran up and pouring it into a mold.
It looked good though. When it was done, it actually looked really good.
It did. If your painting skills were up to the task, which I think 12-year-old, 13-year-old me probably wasn't up to the task. I remember making the house that you got with White Dwarf, the little cottage. Yeah. That was cool. And then of course you got the towers and everything in the. There was
an Elder Shrine as well in one issue.
There was.
I remember that. I made that. That was kind of cool.
I need to go back and see if I can get the actual. See if I can find on eBay or something the sheets of those the ones that came in the games, because they would be great to have scans of.
You should get the cardboard Necromunda base as well.
Now, I'm not saying that I found an STL of the actual plastic bunker, which I can now print in resin, but I have found that.
You wanted cardboard though, don't you?
Well, it was you had these plastic bulkheads that you attached the cardboard into.
Oh yeah, I remember them. Yeah, they were in loads of sets, weren't they?
Yeah. So now I've got an STL of them. The world is my oyster, and I can rebuild that Necromunda board.
Oh, fab!
So that is something that will happen at some point.
There was lots of terrain for Inquisitor as well, wasn't there? Remember the Inquisitor game?
Yep. Oh, it was too big.
It was. Didn't last, did it, that one? Didn't last.
Inquisitor's a weird one.
Because the game is bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like really batshit crazy in terms of its detail.
I've got the couple of the books down there actually. The problem with Inquisitor was everybody started playing it in the scale that you're meant to play it, and then they shrank it down to 40k size, and nobody was buying the miniatures, and that's why Inquisitor kind of died off, because nobody was buying it.
That's a shame.
Not as much as the realization that Gorka Boca nearly killed Games Workshop.
Did it? What? How?
Which is something I was reading up about. Gorka Boca, massive failure.
Really?
Never knew that.
That is a real shocker, isn't it? Because it featured like widely.
No, it didn't. You
Like
think
in
it
the magazines, it was
No,
like
6 months.
Yeah?
It was only in the magazines for 6 months.
God, that's the distortion of childhood, isn't it?
Because I was sure it went for years. I was sure
me
it was like
too.
2-3 years, but no. Gorka Boca was literally only on the shelves for at most 8 months.
That, I mean, in a way, you can sort of see
mental, isn't it?
you can see why, because it was like focused on one faction, wasn't it? So like only people who were interested in that faction would be buying it.
Yeah. And you had that massive, great big orc fort, so that thing was not cheap to make at that point.
Oh, right.
No.
And then Digger Knob came out, and that brought in the muties, the diggers, and all those type of things, and the Gretchen Revolutionary mob.
Oh, they were brilliant. I love those guys.
I want to say there was another thing in there, because I'm sure it got to 5. I can only think of 4.
I can't think off the top of my head. I remember the mutants. I remember the Gretchen.
And of course, there was the Necrons as well, because Angelus was a Necron world.
Yes, it turned out to be a Necron world, didn't it? In the end.
My favourite thing about the Infinite and the Divine is that it finishes off the Gorka Boca story. You now know what happened at the end of Gorka Boca, and it's Traz and the Infinite stole them.
Yeah.
They're still fighting over it.
They're still fighting, yeah. It's eternal, basically.
That's such a wonderful thing to know. It's like, I'm glad to know that.
Gorka Boca is forever in the 40k universe now.
Gorka Boca is forever in my heart. Because I was wondering if Necromunda was going to go down that route and make like Gorka Munda or Necromorca, whichever one you want to call it. But no. Obviously, they never want to go back to it because it did Games Workshop a lot of damage that they took a lot of time to get over.
It's so beloved now as well. Like people remember it fondly, don't they? You know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it was significant in other ways as well, because of course it was the thing that changed the aesthetic of the orcs, if you remember.
Absolutely, it was. It took them away from being the 80s party boys and turned them into a more unified brute force, for better or worse.
Which is interesting because they've gone back the other way. They've gone back to the almost like back to the 1980s, you know.
When they start getting like hair squigs with punk rock hairdos, then I'll be happy.
Well, there's Zodgrod. He's basically got that.
True, very true. He's got the big dreads.
Yeah.
I can't look at him without thinking of King Willy from Predator 2.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is, but I know where he's. The other side. That was my Jamaican orc impression. Please, 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 never let me do it again.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Predator 2 remake with orcs and having a warp spider as the Predator.
Oh, yeah.
That could be a fun little story.
That's
George, get writing.
Well, warp spiders are great for horror. I mean, there are like little short stories in the Second Ed Elder Codex involving warp spiders that are really quite freaky. It's something that needs to do with the new models, you know. And they need to make them scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the latest Eldar Codex, they also have stories about the warp spiders, trying to make those models seem scary.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very same models.
Yeah.
I actually put an article out, part of the deep dive series that I do on the site, and it was building a Craft World Eldar army in Rogue Trader, from the Rogue Trader era. And somebody pointed out about half of those models are still on sale. It's like, holy crap. I was looking at it going, oh my god, yeah. Other than the Aspect Warriors and the
Phoenix Lords.
Yeah.
Which came a bit later. They were Second Ed, weren't they?
They were.
But still, Second Ed, you know, like, and it's early Second Ed as well. It's very early Second Ed.
Didn't we work out that the Eldar was like the 3rd Codex or the 4th Codex or something?
They're it was Space Wolves, Orcs, Eldar, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think that's
So
right.
yeah. Wow. Because that's when I came in. That was my first Codex.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
Ooh.
I loved that book to bits. Still do. It's amazing.
It is. All of the books from that time are amazing.
Yeah.
You know that they're a bit dated now, yes,
Oh
and they're a
yeah,
bit
they're very
clunky.
dated
You
now.
know,
But I mean,
but
like using them was a complete bastard because everything was everywhere. Like
yeah,
it's not like now where like here's the rules, everything is here, this is how you use it. Like you'd get little mentions of rules like over here in this bit of background. Oh, by the
Mhm.
way, there's this thing that this unit does. It's not actually in the entry, but it's here. So, refer back here. Vague stuff like that. Little box outs. Like I remember in the Chaos Space Marine Codex, the second ed, it's not Chaos Space Marine, it's just chaos, isn't it? It's just everything. The second ed Chaos Codex, there's a little box in one tiny little area of the Codex that says, oh, by the way, Chaos Terminators, they do sometimes like scavenge bits and pieces of Imperial Terminator stuff. So if you want to use stuff from the Imperial Space Marine Codex, here's how you do it. And it's like, what? All right.
Oh man, if I ever want to see anything in the world, it's a load of Eldar with a commandeered Land Raider, and I
Yeah, well,
mean
that
the
was the thing, wasn't it?
old Land Raider.
That was the thing,
Yeah,
wasn't it? Because they all used the same vehicles and equipment back then. Harlequin Land Raiders. Yeah, it happened. There's a picture of one of them, isn't there, in a White Dwarf? I think it was a Golden Demon entry, wasn't it?
Mhm. Yep, that's right. That's yeah, mental.
It's
I
bobbins,
actually,
isn't it? I mean, it's just the most. I mean, but then again, like even in Second Ed, like the Eldar were using. Everyone used standard equipment, right?
yeah.
So, like, Eldar had their own versions of power fists and
Mhm.
las guns, and orcs had their own versions of power fists and las guns and
Yeah,
whatnot. It was a common pool of equipment.
yeah. It's crazy, isn't it, that everybody had las guns, everyone had
Mhm.
power fists, everyone
Yep.
had power axes, everyone
Yep.
had lightning claws,
Everyone had
um,
dreadnoughts. Everyone had the same stuff. Yeah.
assault cannons.
But
It's you kind of look at how things are now. It's like you can't quite get your head around. Everyone
no.
had exactly the same troop, exactly the same heavy support, exactly the same big robot thing, and it's going. But why?
Yeah. Why? I
But
mean,
why?
it
And
does not. It doth not make a sense, does it?
but at the time you didn't give two dams.
Oh no, you didn't question it at the time, and it was just like, well, whatever, They would always throw in a little bone, like they would say stuff like, "Yeah, oh, the Elder Las cannon is obviously far more sophisticated than the Imperial equivalent," and blah 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 blah.
And of course, the Orc las cannon was just 3 flashlights taped together
Yes, pretty
with
much.
a Energon buddy stuffed in the back. Energon buddy?
The only exception were the Tyranids, of course.
Yeah. Well,
The only exception.
that's the beginning of the change, isn't it? In second
Yeah.
ed, that's when they moved into third ed. Everything starts to get a bit more
Bespoke.
personalized.
Yeah, it becomes like everything. It's a better way of taking it, obviously.
What? No, Eldar don't have dreadnoughts. They have Wraith Lords.
Wraith Lords, obviously. Orcs don't have dreadnoughts; they have killer cans.
Yeah, go kill a gun. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, fair dues. Moving on. Has anybody done any hobbies over the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, fair bit.
Yeah.
Fair bit. A lot, actually. Lots of
Okay.
stuff, still putting
Yeah.
together the bits and pieces from Leviathan.
Mhm.
Those Tyranids are something else. They are spectacular. I like the
Yes.
little ones better.
Yeah.
I've discovered I like the little guys better. The big ones are brilliant. Don't get me wrong. The monsters are amazing. All of them are fantastic. That Neuro Tyrant is
Mhm.
just something else. It's so beautiful. But the little guys, like the Neuro Gaunts, are tiny but brilliant. So much detail on them. The new Termagants, they're a bit of a revelation. I always loved like the metal ones from Second Ed, as crap as they were. I always loved them. The new ones are beautiful. They're a little bit bigger. They've got a little bit more detail on them, and they're all doing something different. They're all dynamic. Like they're scuttling, they're perching on things, they're sort of bunching up their limbs to sort of like strike. Beautiful, beautiful miniatures. But the ones I really, really like are the Barb Gaunts. The ones that have got the weapon symbiote on them.
Mhm.
They are brilliant. They're much bigger than I thought they were. I thought they were just like essentially termagants with the weapon symbiote on, but they've swollen them up. They're much bigger than normal termagants. So they've got things like organic vents on their back that obviously discharge whatever chemical soup the weapon creates inside of them. It's utterly brilliant. Lovely, lovely things.
Everything I've seen of them, I've gone from going, I wish these were more 90s to, actually, no, I think this is possibly the best the Tyranids have ever looked.
Agreed. I think they're great.
And I hate myself for saying that, because I love Tyranids looking all weird and wacky and goopy. But no, I think I've kind of talked myself into this, that when the next 40k Partwork magazine comes out, I'm probably going to go in on that just to get the nids. Well, you get the nids and the Terminators.
Well, they're such lovely miniatures, and they're so fun to put together. There's
Mhm.
something, I don't know, there's just something really satisfying on a hobby level about these miniatures. They're not too fiddly, but they're intricate enough to be satisfying when you put them together. But also they're kind of intuitive. One of the things I really like about them is you can sort of figure out how they go together without the instructions, which is nice. I like that. I can't wait to start painting them up. They are so exciting. I haven't really been. I've liked the Tyranids, but I've not been inspired by them for a long time. These guys, I'll put together a little army of these, definitely.
And you've been looking at a hell of a lot of insects for ideas for colour schemes, haven't you?
Tons, absolutely tons. I've been doing a little bit of gaming as well. I've been playing against my regular gaming bud Graham. Got wiped out by his Gene Stealer cults. Oh my god! In 10th ed, wow.
Yeah, they are nasty in 10th.
Wow. I mean, and I was playing Thousand Sons as well, which are one of the better armies at the moment with the indices. The Thousand Sons are really good, but woof, the Gene Stealer cults are like boss level, you know? It's that ability to respawn most of their basic units when they've been destroyed.
Yeah.
That is a swine. I just could not kill them quickly enough.
That's the problem. You've got to go for the head. You've got to start taking out the characters ASAP.
Clearly.
And if you don't do that, then you're just basically throwing shit at a wall.
You are screwed, right? You are screwed. That said, I also had a game against him with his Dark Angel Successor chapter. Again, one of the better Space Marine chapters in 10th ed at the moment. And I hosed them. Absolutely hosed them. It was a combination of things. It was Ahriman and Exalted Sorcerers in big blocks of Rubrique with Warp Flamers. That is insanely good. It's insanely good. Scarab Occult Terminators as well. A good block of Scarab Occult Terminators. Beyond that, nothing else really matters. Everything else is almost distractionary, you know? But those Rubrique phalanxes are fantastic in 10th ed.
Yeah.
Especially if they've got an Exalted Sorcerer and or Ahriman attached. Just wonderful. You can pull so many dirty tricks with combinations of stratagems and psychic powers and rituals, the rituals that the Thousand Sons have got. You can do some naughty stuff with that. You really can. There's a combination that allows you, using the Cult of Magic detachment, you can use a stratagem to make their bolters psychic. So the bolt attacks counter psychic attacks. Then you can use the Cult of Magic detachment ability to make them into devastating wounds or lethal hits. So it's nasty. It's really unpleasant.
Well,
yeah, it's very, very nasty. And when you consider the amount of shots that, say, the Scarab Occult Terminators are throwing out, you can take down really big things like knights and monsters, or in my case, the big block of Deathwing Terminators. And he wasn't pleased.
Do you have one of those vortex beasts or whatever they're called, Mr. George?
A Mutalath, I do. I do have a
Yeah.
Mutalath. Yes, he's not put together, unfortunately. He's in his box still. I need to put him together, and I want to do something fun with him as well, because they're
Did he
supposed to all be.
Did he get it when he was in store? When
Oh, I
he
got him
became
ages
online
ago.
only?
I got him
'Cause-
ages ago. This is an old. Mine is an old one. I got him when he was originally part of the Chaos Warrior army. Back,
Jesus.
way back, and I just haven't put him together. Way back when.
So that's not far up being 10-year-old then.
No, it's an old mini. It is an old mini. I need to do something with it. I really, really do. Because they're good as well. They're really good in 10th. A lot of people really swear by the Mutalath Vortex Beasts. So, yeah.
Good God. Just because you mentioned that, I'm thinking here. You said about making the shot psychic. Does that work on a certain type of shot, or is that any
Yeah,
shot?
I think it's only the bolt guns. I think it's only
Right.
the bolt. But even so, like that's what Rubrique have got by and large,
Yeah.
So I mean that you can give them the warp flamers as well, but that you can't do it to that. If you could do it to that, it would be insane.
Well, I was more thinking the assault cannons.
No, the Soul Reapers. No, it doesn't
Yeah.
work on the Soul Reapers because that would be also that would maybe be overkill
That would be
because they already have
devastating.
I think they already have sustained hits, the Soul
They
Reaper
do.
cannon. So it's
Yep.
like, no, that would be insane. That would be absolutely insane. But it's still bad. I mean, when your opponent isn't expecting it because it also makes the bolt a strength 5 as well. So suddenly, and there are also loads of abilities like from attached characters that then enhance psychic weapons in the unit. So if all their bolters are psychic,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
And there's so many. The way the Thousand Suns work is there's so many overlapping tricks that you can pull, and if you pull them at the right time, your opponent cries. Your opponent just like breaks down in tears because you end up shooting one of their nastiest units off the battlefield.
Good damn.
Yeah,
God damn.
it's good. It's good. And then you've got Araman, of course, with his dirty trick, where he can, once per game, he can perform one of the Cabal rituals without spending any points. You do it at the right time. You turn off the armor saves of what you're shooting at. So they can't even make a save either.
Bloody hellfire.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm getting flashbacks to playing James's Slanesh.
Yeah. Oh, yes, you had that, didn't you? You played the Hedonites, yeah?
Yes, I had a game against Ben Stormcast as they held a chaos-infused temple as they were trying to clean it, get the brooms out, trying to mop up all the chaos out of the cracks. I played
If it
my
was a
sons
Slanesh chaos, there'd be a lot to mop up, wouldn't there? Let's be honest.
Indeed. I think it was more cornate, so it's just blood rather than arcing jets of semen. Why did I say that out loud? Jesus God, Adam. So yeah, I played my Sons of Hashut, the Hashut-themed Ogroid heavy Sons of Slaves to Darkness army. James played his Hedonites of Slanesh, and Ben had his Stormcast. He fought valiantly and managed to keep the temple out of the Chaos hands, but he paid for it in blood. Halfway through the first turn, I just decided, and just started devouring the Slaneshi, and discovered how hard they are to kill.
Yeah,
they are.
Because those points, the depravity points, are so easy to rack up.
They are. I actually think that they're not far off being broken with how easy it is for people to build those things up. The only way I managed to make any real dent into that Slaneshi army was manifesting a demon prince in the middle of his unit, which I did with my my flying Bellacore. So and it was just trying to make any kind of headway against
in the hands of a canny player. The
Yeah.
Hedonites are really good because they're so quick. They may be, I think, in terms of speed across the army, they outperform the Lumineth. You know,
Oh yeah.
they're so quick. Every unit is so. I think the slowest unit in the army moves 9 inches. I think per turn. That's the slowest unit. You know.
We had a river that went right the way through the middle of the board, right? So James had to cross the river in order to get to anybody. And that river did not slow him down. He was still in combat by turn 1.
Was he playing an invaders army, Adam?
I can't remember.
Because you've got like the 3 different battle hosts
Yeah.
for Slaanesh. My guess is he probably was, because they're the fastest ones, and there are certain God Seekers, they're called. God Seekers.
Yes, that's who he was. Yep, he was the God Seekers.
They have some of the nastiest abilities ever. Like they can move die 3 friendly units at the beginning of the battle before anything has happened.
Yep, I saw that.
Mental. In AOS, that's mental. Anything that lets you redeploy like that after deployment, absolutely hideous. And they've also got certain abilities that let them just like rack up extra depravity points as they go.
Yeah.
So yeah, they are nasty.
He had an entire unit of demonettes get wiped out, and they all just popped back up again.
Just brought them back, yeah.
Like every single one just popped back up again, and I'm sitting going, "Well, that's an entire turn that I've just taken." Trying to slow that down in order to get into position to start kicking the shit out of the Stormcast, and I'm still going to be in combat for another turn.
Yeah, and they get nastier, don't they? So, like, the depravity points, you can choose what to do with them. You can either spend them on summoning, which is quite easy to do, or you can keep them, in which instance your whole army, every unit in your army gets escalating abilities.
Yeah.
And it's very easy. I mean, when you read it, you think, oh, well, that's going to take a little while to rack up. No, it's not.
It really doesn't.
No, it isn't. So 12 plus, you get Tantalizing Torment, and that's like a subtract 1 from hit rolls against Slaaneshi units. 24, not that many really. Every attack done by a Hedonites unit also does an extra mortal wound if the hit roll is 6.
Yeah.
That's in addition to its normal damage. And they chuck out loads of attacks. You're going to be getting loads of 6s. You know? And after that, the last one, 36 plus depravity points, they all get a 5+ ward save. All of them. And those stack. Those abilities stack.
Big Swing Indeed in the chat says, notes to self, feels no shame for building an Old Dragon Stormcast list.
No, I wouldn't.
Honestly, an Old Dragon Stormcast list, I have fought one of them, and they are nasty. They are, they're so quick. It's like the Slaaneshi are a glass cannon. There were a lot of things to keep them in the fight, but they're very easy to take off the board.
Yes.
Just
the problem
is,
I mean, almost all of them are toughness 3.
Yeah,
almost all of them.
The problem is keeping them off the fucking board. But the Dragon Stormcast, you cannot take them down. They are so hard to take down. I took on Krondis with my Rogue Idol, and it was touch and go. It was touch and go. I won at the end, but it was touch and go. Andy,
yeah,
what hobby have you been doing, my fine sir?
Not a huge amount. I put together the Flesh Eater Court scenery piece from when they got their redo, whatever that was. Do you remember what it was called? Little temple thing?
I don't know what it's called, but I've seen yours, and it's brilliant.
Thank you.
I love those like flayed like skeletons around the base where they're all red and gory.
Yeah, the mold's really good, and it
gorgeous.
Wasn't too hard to do. It's just dry brush everything as I usually do, then speed paint bone, and then just get the blood for the blood god and just slosh it over everything, and then do get the toothbrush, dunk it in, and then just flick the toothbrush at the wall to try and get the blood splatter.
Do you, when you're dry brushing, do you sit there and just whisper to yourself, dry brush?
No, I just sit there for ages going, this is taking forever to do.
I like to whisper dry brush to myself in that tone. You just go, dry brush.
Do you do it for every model? Because that would take a while. Because, like I say, I've been doing that. And
there's a reason I've got such a cracked voice.
Oh, no. I dry brushed 10 of my 1,000 Suns from the Prospero Burns box set. I've built the 5 Custodes, and they're ready to get sprayed up black. What else have I done? Have I dry brushed? Oh, I dry brushed a load of skeletons today, so they're ready for redding up and getting nearly finished, I suppose. And then over the week, I've bought, but they haven't arrived yet. I bought the speed paint, the army paint, speed paint, red poppy, so I can paint my 1,000 Suns. That should hopefully come tomorrow. Had some order issues and the thing got lost in the post, so I should have got it yesterday, but had to reorder.
You're going for like a classic red, aren't you, Andy, for your 1,000 Suns?
Well, the 1,000 Suns I'm doing at the moment are the ones from the Prospero Burns box set. So they need to be Horus Heresy
Of
appropriate.
course, right? Of course.
You know, so I've got those. I should have the paint tomorrow to start on them.
Mhm.
I got some Green Stuff World Chrome paint because that looks really nice. I've got that coming, so I can do up my Custodes with some nice antique gold. I think it's called.
Excellent.
I got some bronze to do up the 5 sisters, Silent Sisters. So hopefully they should look nice and chromy as well in bronze. And then I ordered a load of resin bases to hopefully account for the other 10,000 suns I've got to do, the 10 Space Wolves I've got to do, the 5 sisters, the 5 Custodes, and then Araman and the wolf guy who I don't care about. So I'll need to paint him up, but you know.
Oh yes, Wolfison.
Yeah, he's a space wolf. I don't give a shit about him. Is it Black Hand? Is that the guy that comes in that box set?
I don't know.
We'll call him Jack Russell.
Jack Russell. And because like I was ordering from Mighty Lancer, the paints, the Green Stuff World paints, went, okay, we got to get this to 50. How do we get it to 50? Oh, I can get the Rat Prince, and we can get the other vampire lady from.
Nice.
Yeah, so I finally bought them. Obviously,
nice.
They're a little bit more expensive than they were if I ordered them when they originally came out because of the price hike. But I finally got them. I don't have the rules obviously for them for Curse City. But, you know, whatever. That's fine. It's just 2 more vampires, and they're nice models anyway.
They
so
are, aren't they? I love the Rat Prince. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, and I have rats to go with him because I got the Curse City box set.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's really cool.
If you don't have the Curse City box set, it's the Rat Prince, but with no rats.
Oh, no.
He's ratless unless you buy Skaven Boys from, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, I suppose you could do that.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, just a lot of dry brushing and a little bit of building in preparation to... The plan is I'd like to get as much of the Prospero Burns box set done before the end of the year, if possible. And then hopefully if I get that done, I'll move on to do the Battle of Calth and try and get that finished as well.
Yeah.
Just to get it done. Just to get it finished. Because I've had these things... Yeah, when did I get those box sets, Gruff? Because I got Prospero Burns like when you came down and we went to the Metro Center for a anniversary.
Yes,
and those... That was on the shelf still at the time.
Oh, wow.
4 years ago?
Yeah, maybe more. Yeah. So I've been arsing about too long. Need to get them done. Yeah, but that's been my hobby stuff, I think. I don't think I've done anything else.
Did I tell you guys about the wonderful mistake that I made? Because I'm an idiot.
Oh, no.
When I was in Warlord Games in Nottingham, I was like, oh, Speedpaints. I'll pick a few of these up, actually, and try them out, just see what they're like. So
the Army Painter ones.
Yeah. So I picked up a nice turquoise, a nice blue, and a nice green, because that's how I want to do my Old Hammer Chaos Dwarfs. More on them in a moment. Didn't really think about it. Cool. Got them home, and went, these are metallics.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
These aren't, they say speed paint, but they're metallics.
They're metallics.
Yeah, there are speed paint metallics, which are fine, I hear.
Well,
most of those metallics and contrast paints, but...
Yeah. I now have some metallics.
Oh, okay.
All right,
well,
interesting.
You got jewelry. If you do some Eldar, you've got some good colors for them, I guess.
Yeah. Well, shit on me. I've gone into a real old hammer feel. I wonder why. At the moment,
bring out your lead.
Yeah, it was so good. Oh god, I want to go back next year. I want to go back now. So as a result, me and my brother have decided we're going to do a 3rd edition Warhammer Fantasy Battle Path to Glory, Realm of Chaos Path to Glory.
Oh my god, like using like the old ROC.
Oh yeah. Oh
Jesus
yeah.
God.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot of random tables, Adam.
No, I can't wait.
What he loves?
Yeah, I love me a random table. It's the problem that I've got with D&D. D&D doesn't have enough random tables. Everything's like, you roll this, what happens? No, I want to roll a D500 and I might get crow feet.
You might.
Just a giant hand made of willies.
Roll up a demon weapon. So now you've got to roll up the demon that goes in the weapon.
Yeah.
You've got to roll up the weapon. And you've got to roll up its chaos attributes. Woo!
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's just a good night. That's how I like to spend my evenings, just sitting there with a table, rolling and rolling and rolling. Roll for.
That's what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. It's great.
It is good fun, actually. It is a lot of fun.
So I've got myself a start of a 3rd Ed Chaos Dwarf army. If you think back to 3rd Ed, you have the boar centaurs, not bull. They were boar centaurs. They all look like tiny chaos warriors. They've got weird cannons and the ass cannon. Never forget the ass cannon. They could have a mammoth, which I've already got.
Do you have the dick and balls cannon?
Not yet. But they.
Okay.
I will have that.
Yeah, because at the very least, you can. I'm sure you could get the STL from Total War Warhammer.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
What is
basically? What I've found is there are a couple of companies out there that are doing really nice Chaos Dwarfs of that era. So I've gone to Old School Miniatures, I've gone to Nightmare Miniatures, and a few others. And so far, I've managed to build up quite a nice little collection of old school Warhammer stuff.
Including really good.
The Battle Tome for AOS. It'll be out in the next month?
No, because as this works, they wait for me to finish. And as I have both this one and a big hat Chaos Dwarf army, which I'm currently building for 5th and 6th, 5th and 6th, 4th and 5th, 5th and 6th, whichever way around it goes. So I've got 2 Chaos Dwarf armies on the go at the moment. Both are long-term plans. I'm not rushing to get these done. These are long-term plans, and that's all fine by me. For more imminent, I'm making a Skaven army for a AOS Path to Glory campaign that we're going to be doing.
Very nice.
I have a... Andy's just laughing at me. Oh, you idiot.
Another project. Another thing to do, add to the list.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know me, I'm a sucker for punishment.
Well, the thing is, Path to Glory in AOS is really fun as well. It's a good way of playing the game.
Yeah, but Griff doesn't have time. That's the joke.
No, that's true.
It's going to be mostly played via over Facebook Messenger, I think.
Oh, okay, all right.
But the idea is, and I'm going to be, once I finish doing it, I'm going to release it to the group so the group can also play. The campaign is called Dead Metal. It is on a previously held Bone Reaper Island in the realm of Shaman. And the idea is that the Bone Reapers have vanished. For whatever, something's happened, and every single Bone Reaper that held the island vanished. And everybody's now coming in because they all want the artifacts, they all want to get the secrets and the spells and all the different things. So I've got an entire map that is 20 by 20, and that's the island, and each square is an event. So you're aiming towards getting into battles, but each square that you cross to get to that battle will have an event involved to it, which will have random tables.
Very cool.
And then that will either give you extras, or something will happen to your army, or different things are going to happen. And it's basically a way of just making a really interactive way of playing the game when you're not on the table as well. So
that's good fun, actually. I like the sound of that.
So I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying sort of building it, and then I'll put that out there, and we'll see how it does.
I will say the one thing I really like about your Chaos Dwarves is they seem era appropriate. They look like they would have been done by GW, but are nicer.
Oh yeah,
which is quite nice. I think that can be quite a hard thing. Like if you're going for a specific look or a specific idea, like Oldhammer, I think it can be quite hard to find the right STL or the right 3D printed, just because there's so much. There's so much 3D printing stuff that you can do, and it's like, what look do you want to go for, and how easy is it to find? It's like, oh my god,
not many people are doing that kind of stuff in like Chaos Dwarfs. You can get a lot of people are doing updates to older stuff, which makes it look a bit more modern, which doesn't really work for me for what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get as era appropriate as
you want it to look like it's from that era, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm even trying to like mimic a paint style from that time as well, just to try and get it to look as old as I can.
Yeah, that's fun.
But it's been loads of fun, and I've got at the moment I've got a unit of 7 boar centaurs and a unit of 15 chaos dwarfs. So it is a slow build, but it's rather good. I need to find a lord. I need to find a chaos dwarf lord, and then and I've got a repeater cannon as well. Then I need to now. What I'm considering as well is if I can find one, I want that original Khorne Juggernaut, because you can roll on the tables to get a Juggernaut of Khorne, no matter what chaos power you you follow.
Hmm.
So I want to have a Chaos Dwarf riding a Juggernaut of Khorne, and his legs don't touch the bottom.
Are you going for the old Juggernaut as well, the one with the bulldog face?
Oh yes,
Yeah, of course.
yeah. That's the one. That's not the smooth, sophisticated Ferrari Juggernaut of now.
No,
I want the ugly larder
the
of a
ugly one.
Juggernaut.
Yeah,
The one that looks like it was made by 1970s Soviet Skoda. You know,
yeah.
It looks like it shouldn't move,
It's
but
the
it
Juggernaut
does. It's
Or the
the Rubber
Reliant
Reliant, but
Robin,
with
right.
like hot rod flames up the side. It's good.
I
Yeah.
want you, like, sometime in the future, Gruff, to get a 3D printed fat patriarch.
Oh yeah.
If I ever find one, I probably will, just for my own personal amusement.
You need him.
But I mean, the 3D printing for the big hat Chaos Dwarfs goes really well because
Mhm.
there's a few different people out there who are doing different stuff, and that's great. Fabazel is like hitting it so on the nose. I don't really want to go anywhere else, but there are a few other people who are doing a few things, and I managed to get an Astrogoth this last week.
Have you
Yes.
thought about getting him on the show so you can, like, slightly bully him into doing specific things? Like, you can edge him into doing specific. You'd be like, "Oh, come on on Fluffenhammer for an interview. How about, I'm just saying that if you do this kind of thing, that'd be kind of
I love
fun."
the tactic.
My
Getting people
wheels.
onto the show so we can bully them into doing what we want.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that idea.
it's a great idea.
I do like that idea, actually.
Gently nudging.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
do
'cause-
like that. I
yeah.
want Chris Wright, and we're going to bully him into doing the next Lords of Silence book.
Well, you know what I've set in motion there, George. You know what's got set in motion this week. So let's see what happens, eh?
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see.
Right, should we get on to
Should we have a
some
look at what was going
news?
on at Nether?
Sure,
Yes.
we've done about an hour preamble, so we may as well.
Cool.
Oh, Jesus. Well, we're going to fire through the first few things quite quickly, I think, because they're all Space Marines.
Oh God! I mean, yay!
Ooh,
Yeah,
Yay!
So I think what we'll do is we'll hit all of these as one great big
yeah,
story.
that's probably a good idea.
Right, so we've got some jump packs coming, and they're really cool. I actually quite like how these guys have turned out.
Is it weird that they're here now? Because I thought we were done with Assault Marines. I thought we were just going to use the Gravis Armor floaty machine gunny dudes from now on.
I think Gravis Armor is going to be slowly but surely going away.
I wouldn't be shocked.
It's not popular, is it?
No,
It doesn't look as cool. It just doesn't.
doesn't.
I don't.
It's
I don't
right,
think
the
it is.
silhouette isn't as good, is it? The silhouette
No.
doesn't really. It looks bubbly somehow. It doesn't like. I don't know. It just doesn't have the weight of a
I
space
actually
marine,
think
you know?
the Gravis Armor concept might work better with the Votan. I think you could give that kind of Gravis Armor floaty machine gunny look
Yes.
to Votans, and it would probably work as a nice and round anyway.
I've always felt like, space marines that fly or that sort of like deep strike in, there's got to be a certain heaviness to them, like they're hurtling down, right?
Yeah. When they
You know?
land, there needs to be a crater where they
Yeah,
land.
because that's what they are, right? They're the strike force, yeah? The Gravis guys have always looked like they're floating away while they're shooting, and I don't know. It just never sat quite right with me.
The best way I can describe the Gravis Armor is somebody sat down to try and draw a Terran Marine from memory, because they don't look like they're made by the 40k Imperium.
No,
No.
you're right. They don't.
No.
Not quite. And not quite the same. These guys I like, as Imperial Marines go, they look good.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the Terminators are back now. So what's the need for having Gravis Armor? You got these guys, you got Terminators. Everything else can just be like,
They're
off you
cool.
go.
They're really cool. They've got. I like the fact they've updated the jump packs a little bit as well. They look a bit different, which is nice.
Yeah, they look like they take a lot of thrust, don't they?
Yeah.
Oof.
Well, they
You don't
look
wanna
like
be-
they could actually lift, like, a 10-foot space marine off the ground in full armor.
I quite like. There's one of them. He's got a little Bane mask, and he just looks like he's fallen off his rock. And he's just, oh, help me!
Yeah, I'm not sure about all of a lot of the poses are like, at least for the legs, kind of similar. I would have liked one or two of them to be maybe. I mean, some people might complain, but I would be okay for them to have like a smoke effect, like they're blasting off.
Yeah, that'd
I'd
be
like
good.
that
That'd be
personally,
cool.
because Yeah, you're right. There are a lot of ones that just look like they are tripping on rocks. They've just got one foot on a rock.
Yeah,
Maybe a bit too similar in those kind of poses.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was going to go down this route, I would be chopping the feet off the rocks, putting a piece of wire from the like both thrusters, putting them into the base, and then just cover it in cotton wool. And
Yeah,
just
that'll
having
do
it
too.
that way.
Yeah.
That'd look better.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it, because I think that would just give them such a great dynamic look. But
And
I mean,
also be having them sort of like crashing down feet first into like Chaos Space Marines, having them fly back like little dioramas. That'd be kind of fun.
there's two of them, both of them helmetless, and there's something I really wanted to bring up here, and there's one guy in the helmetless lads. He's got a mohawk and a cybernetic eye.
He does.
And I swear to God, that is an update of an old mini. Like, he looks like an update. I don't think he actually is, but he looks like
got the feeling of like the
yeah.
ethos of
They've done something there, and it just makes me think of those original jump pack guys from 1993.
God Almighty.
Something along those lines. Anyhow, I think it's the big bulky cyber eye. It's not recessed like you often see now. It's big and it's bulky and it's just out there. And then of course you've got the mohawk, which is like pure 80s goodness. So
there's quite a lot of character going on in these guys, aren't they? Considering they are like generic Space Marine units, they're quite characterful. They're quite distinct. I kind of like them.
I like the fact that one of them has a skull key and another one has a skull lock. It's just like, what's
intriguing,
what you got in your little inquisitorial lock there?
What's going on there, right?
Well, they're best friends, right? So one of them's got the lock, and it's like you have the key to my heart, the key to my
Is that what it
Vulcan.
is?
Maybe.
You hear that, brother? That is the sound of a lock with no key.
There
That's
you
what
go,
the world
fanfic
is like
writers.
without you, brother.
We will jump into battle together holding hands, brother. A nice romantic story of they squishing like heretical skulls together while holding hands.
Nothing says love in the Primaris like killing the heretic. It is still a better love story than Twilight.
Nothing gets me randy than squishing a man's head under my shoe.
Well, nothing gets these guys randy, does it? They're basically eunuchs, right?
That's true.
That's true. Maybe that's why they've got a key to lock, so it's a bit more symbolic.
Unless-
I'm
Yeah,
going to move on now. Yeah. Right.
That's actually quite good, yeah.
Got the captain, of course, as well. I mean, is this the first time we've had a jump captain for a long time? I believe it is, isn't it?
If you don't count Dante, probably,
If
I
you don't
suppose.
count
Right?
Dante, like special characters, yeah.
You could build the Smash Captain, couldn't you, for the Blood Angels?
Yes, that's right.
But outside of that, I can't really think of...
I don't think there was a generic one, was there?
No.
Do you know how you know he's a captain?
Biggest
rock.
Is that what it is?
He's got the biggest rock to stand on.
Standing on the biggest rock. Yeah.
And also, his little pouch thing has no key lock. He hasn't made any friends.
I noticed he's got extra boosters on the back of his calf muscles as well.
He does, doesn't he?
Fun.
That's cute. That's kind of cute. And they're multi-directional as well.
Though I do almost seem like those going off first by accident and just like flipping them upside down.
Yeah, the dignity of a space marine just undone by his malfunctioning equipment. He better keep the machine spirit of his armor really happy, right?
Do you think McCrag is printed into that, or do you think someone's painted that on the blade?
Oh,
I think that's been painted on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you wanted, you could put down like Gary or something.
Yeah. If you wanted.
Much for Gary.
What do you call your chainsaw captain? Gary.
Gary.
All right.
To
Venerable
really
saint.
show the depths of my my joy in being a massive big old fucking nerd. Years ago, when I LARPed, I had a sniper railgun called Betsy, and now I want you to take a second to think about what a sniper railgun looks like. Okay, it's somebody gets shot in the head. It's like, oh no, where did that shot come from? Maybe we should follow the line of superheated air that leads in a straight line to where the shooter is. And that was part of the character, where he didn't realize that a railgun that's in sniper mode is not stealthy. And it's also massive and bulky.
I was going to say
needs
it's
a
massive as well, right?
and backpacked. It was built out of 2 super soakers and a shoebox. It was
That's cool.
it was so much fun to run around with. But the highlight of Betsy was when me and a guy called Reek, we were meant to be like on sort of Overwatch, and somebody runs out of the. We're out in the middle of nowhere, like a scout retreat, basically for the weekend. And this guy runs pelt out of the room and just goes, "Run!" And Regan shouts back, "Where?" And she goes, "Away!" And this guy, this is a really tall guy. He's wearing like 16 layers. Makes him look like a brick shithouse, covered in like airsoft guns. And we run through the woods, right through a little scout group. And he just shouts, "Don't worry, special forces."
With our super soakers and things.
He's got airsoft guns. I've got like airsoft pistols in my trousers. I just remembered that story, and it's such a good times.
Not for that scout troop; they were traumatized.
I was going to say, not for them.
You'll be a story of these men who came out of the woods with guns.
This is a story that's going to be told in therapy, isn't it?
I like the idea that they're all sitting around campfires. Oh, you wouldn't believe what we saw. Nah, you didn't see that. Oh, we did. It was good. Back to the Space Marines, though. I think these guys look really nice in the red.
They are lovely, aren't they? I like the Blood Angel guy.
Yeah.
He's fab. He's absolutely fab, and the weapon options are nice too. He's got like a little. Is that like a flamer pistol he's got there?
Looks like it. Or a plasma pistol or something.
Yeah, it's some sort of flamer pistol. That is. That's really nice.
I like the fact that I was looking at it earlier on, going, now are they two different shoulder pads, or did they? No. They painted Ultra and Baal onto the shoulder pads. Holy God. And they used really nice font for both of them. And I have never felt more useless in my life. Huh. Should we move on to the next Marines?
Yeah, sure. What are we going for next?
So, Space Marine Terminators. Fire up the teleport over.
Now, this is more like it, isn't it?
These are all lovely.
Yeah, this is exciting stuff. I do love Terminators, and these are
How different are these compared to the ones that are in the box set, out of interest? Is there a huge difference?
Not really, no. I mean, these are a bit more dynamic, because like the ones in the box set are obviously sort of more like, snap together pieces. These look a bit more various. There's a bit more variety in the heads and the poses and whatnot.
Okay.
But not massively different.
The main thing is that the ones in the box are easy to build, and these are
these are the multi-part kits, right? Yeah. And they're just so nice. What I like about them is they haven't made them too dynamic, because that kills Terminators. They don't look good when they're sort of like too all over the place. The silhouette kind of gets messed up, yeah. But these guys, no, they're lovely. I love the guy with the lack of helmet. I think that's great.
Yeah, you got the guy. He's got no helmet, but he's still got this like chin strap thing, which, as far as I'm aware, that's never happened before.
They've never done that. No, all Terminators, apart from Chaos Terminators. I think there are Chaos Terminators that haven't had like a helmet, but Imperial ones, no, they've always had a helmet. So that's really
unless they were the named characters, Inquisitors, or I seem to remember a Metal Terminator that had a helmetless head, and it was literally just a head stuck in there, and the head filled the entirety of the cavern, massive giganticism head. It was, no, I mean, I love that chin strap that he's got.
I like it too.
Also, I love the fact he's got an assault cannon and
They've
a power
upped
fist.
The scale of the assault cannon. The assault cannon's friggin' massive.
It's a big boy.
It's really huge, that is, which is not what it's supposed to be, right?
Guys, I just love Terminators.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of these. I'm a big fan. I think they look great.
Oh, chain fists. I love chain fists. The only downside is there's no lightning claws, and I do love a Terminator with lightning claws.
That has to be coming later, right?
Yeah, surely, yeah. And of course, 10th Edge can take an army of them if you want.
Yep, and I'm going to.
Easy peasy. And I'm sure that, I mean, obviously there'll be a detachment in the Space Marine Codex that gives you a Terminator-style army anyway, so obviously...
All Gruff needs to do is get some guys on speed bikes, and then he's got some Deathwing.
Yeah, right?
I've got an idea, actually. So I'm going to do the Cloud Runner.
Yeah, of course.
Basically, it's going to be all the Cloud Runner thing, but the idea is going to be the Broken Wing chapter, which is going to be the ones that believe the story of Cloud Runner rather than the actual Deathwing.
That's very cool.
Okay.
And so that everything's built around the story of Cloud Runner. Cloud Runner is venerated as being the first of their kind, that type of
That's
thing.
a lovely idea for a successor chapter.
Yeah. So it means you can have like nice banners that just have like an eagle wing with "We remember Cloud Runner" or "We fight in the memory of Cloud Runner," and you have really just get into that that Native American feel.
Instead of Cloud Runner, can it be Sam the Eagle?
No,
Oh.
because Sam the Eagle did not go off and fight Gene Stealers.
How do you know? Do you know the dank Muppets lore?
I do. I know everything about the Muppets, and I know that outside of a few xenomorphs, the Muppets have never really fought aliens.
I don't know. I could see Sam the Eagle with the Catachan with a knife in his beak, stabbing them away.
And that only works if Gonzo is the predator. It's
The Muppets Warhammer 40,000. I love the idea.
it's time to light the heretic. It's time to start the guns.
I think there's some legit good little skits in there that they can do.
I think there's potential there, definitely.
Yeah.
There's potential.
I wish I had the time, because I've got an idea in my brain for a puppet 40k, and if I had the time to make and film these things, I would do it.
Wow.
It would just be great having Muppet-style orcs. Just
I mean, you can tell that there's going to be like a Terminator kind of detachment because they've put all the characters.
Mhm.
They've done all the characters to go with it, so there is clearly going to be an all Terminator detachment of some description.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which is a nice idea.
I like the fact that you got Terminators with a little shield, little pauldron shields as well.
Yeah, that's sweet.
It's like, we are super armored, and now I'm a little bit more armored.
Yeah, they've really lent into the whole little extra shield since Primaris have came out.
Oh yeah,
really like them.
absolutely.
Don't they?
Oh, very much. Yeah, like the
I think it only
19th
works for certain chapters. I don't think they should be appropriate on like Ultramarines personally, because I don't think it really. I don't think it goes with the Roman aesthetic, but it's
No,
good.
you're
for,
right. It's too medieval looking, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels specifically Dark Angels and Dark
Yes,
Angels
you're
adjacent.
right. Like, absolutely, absolutely.
For my jam, at least, I'm
No,
sure
I
there
think
are
you're
people
right.
who
I
don't
think you're
care,
absolutely
which
right
is fine.
on that one.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy to see like the Cyclone missile launcher back as well.
Oh yes.
There's something about the Cyclone missile launcher just stuck on the back of a Terminator that just makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Are we
we all
actually just
remember-
missing? Are we actually just missing the lightning claws then? Because I think we have
Yeah.
everything else that we've had before.
That's
We're
it.
missing an assault, like just actual assault options. So
Oh,
these
of
are
course, like the hammers, right? The hammer
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shield. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
which they say that there's no plans to remove the current assault Terminator box off the shelves, but I would say
It
down the
will.
line that's definitely gonna
Obviously,
happen.
it'll happen eventually.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the chaplain because
Yeah.
this little chaplain's caused all sorts of problems,
Oh, really?
Ah.
and
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of like him.
Me too. What's
So-
the issue with him?
The problem is that the last Terminator chaplain that came out was a lot more ornate,
Yes.
and this guy looks a little bit bland, which I will admit he does look a little bit bland compared to the last one, which was so heavy on the skulls and ribcage motif that he might as well have just been Legion of the Damned. But this is a new take in the new scale. I've got absolutely no issues with. I think he's fine. It's absolutely fine.
I
kind
think
of
the
like
issue is the paint
asceticism.
scheme.
I like the asceticism of him. I think that for certain chapters, anyway, that certainly fits more. Like Andy was saying, like an Ultramarines chaplain. I think chaplain would be more reserved. I would assume as well that there are options here for customizing him and whatnot.
Yeah, I'd assume so. I would assume so. We won't know until we see what the
No, of course.
actual thing looks like. But
I
you
think
know-
the problem is the paint scheme on him. I think it's the chest. The chest has been painted black. I don't think that was a good idea. I think if they painted that, bone or gold, one of the highlight colors that they got on the model,
Yeah.
I think that would help a lot. But the fact that the chest is just all black, I
Do you
think
think this is that classic thing GW have been doing quite a lot lately, which is the model may actually be quite good, but the paint scheme is detracting from it?
I wouldn't say
Yes.
it wouldn't be a huge improvement.
Mhm.
It might not turn a lot of people over, but I think just like painting that would help its visual look to some
Yeah.
people at the very least.
Yeah.
Because I think it looks fine. It's just the chest. I remember when I saw it first, I was like, why didn't they paint the chest?
Hmm.
Now, if you imagine that in Blood Angel colors or in Deathwing colors, I think
Mhm.
a lot of the problems kind of come away. But because it's in that kind of ultramarine, but also black chaplain colors,
Mm.
it kind of your eye gets drawn to the wrong bits.
Yeah.
Right.
Oddly enough,
uh,
I think to the rosary belt, right? You look at the
Yes.
legs more so than you do the torso.
Well, yeah, because if you look at the bottom half of that model, there's so much
There's a
going
lot
on,
going on, isn't
and
there?
then you get the middle's got nothing, and then you've got that big iron halo at the top, and it's
Yeah.
it means that
It's
the middle
interesting,
bit.
isn't it? It does create like an odd visual feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this will work really well for Legion of the Damned, though. Great.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Going to look super good if you can do fire effects.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Emil, come and do this for me.
Do you
No.
think you get a different head? Do you think you get a full
Oh,
skull
yeah.
mask for him? Because it's not
I'd assume
shown.
yes. I'd
No.
assume that you do. That
It would
I'd
be
assume that
surprised.
It would be weird if you didn't.
Yeah.
It would
It's just
be
weird
odd
it's not
if
shown as an option. They show like a close up of the stick. I think there's like
Mhm.
maybe there's slightly different sticks, and then instead of the storm bolter, you can give him a shield, but they don't show an extra head. But it must be there.
I would
Has to
assume
be.
there must be a full helmeted head. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Has to be.
Yeah. We'll see when he comes out. And then we have our captain, who once again continues that chin strap and.
I love the
my-
bionics. I love the
Yeah.
bionics on the
Just
guy.
see what I mean about this. Feels like it's gone back to second ed for the bionics. Is it just me?
Where they're big and they're kind
Yeah.
of like clunky looking. Yeah, it
looks
almost like
like-
strapped on. You know.
Yeah, it looks like they've bolted the skin onto the metal, which
Uh-huh.
looks really painful.
Yeah.
Yep. I love it. It makes me think of like the old Mark Gibbons art and stuff like that. Bit of
It does
John
have that
Blanche.
feeling, doesn't it? It does have that feeling.
The sword's
wouldn't be-
huge as well. Look
It's
how
massive,
thick that
isn't it?
sword
Hey,
is.
That's
Yeah.
a big old sword, that is.
That is not a sword for cutting. That is a sword for bludgeoning.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. It's not a precision weapon, is it? It's not
No.
it's not a Veldari make that.
No.
It's what's it say? Ultramar Mortis. The death of Ultramar. All right, fair dues. Good on you, lad. And then so there's all sorts of good Terminator goodness and
Yeah, lots
this-
going on with the Termies. Lots
this-
going on with the Termies. It's nice seeing them back this edition, and they are good. They're good this edition, our Termies in general.
I'm looking at the Terminator at the bottom of the page as well. It's like
What,
that-
the Iron Hands one?
Yeah, that also looks like he's stepped out of a Mark Gibbons piece of art. Is it that technology's caught up to the point where you can just get those little
I think so.
influences from those old pieces of art into the
Yes.
miniature?
I think that's largely
Yeah.
it, to be honest. Yeah, so it's happening across a lot of armies at the moment. You know, a lot of the newer miniatures are actually reflecting what the artwork looks like, which is really, really nice to see, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's
Like 3D modeling this is going to be way easier than trying to sculpt it.
oh god, yeah,
Mhm.
god, yeah. Moving on then. Next up, we've got the new generation of Space Marine Scouts. Speaking of things that feel like
Finally.
they walked out of the 90s.
Wow, God, yeah. I mean, like, Scouts, they never arrived with much fanfare, really, have they? They've always just been like, oh, well, we've done the Space Marine, so here are the Scouts as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, here's some Scouts because we needed something for Tyranid attack.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Oh.
But these are good. They're good.
I like the guy with the beard. He's like, look at him. He's just, he hasn't become a full Space Marine yet, so he's allowed to grow a big old beard.
It's a good Space Wolf head, I think, potentially as
Actually,
well.
it would be a good Space Wolf head, wouldn't it? Yeah.
He looks like he's about to start fronting a Pantera tribute band. He's like,
I'm not sure about the metal cod piece, though. Feels kind of Henry VIII-ish.
well, you know, if you're going to wear cargo pants, you want to have something that makes a statement, you know.
Well, it's the irony, isn't it? You know, again, given that Space Marines are essentially eunuchs.
Yeah.
Well, he's not a fully Space Marine at this point, is he?
He would be, because I think he's
He
the
would be.
sergeant. He's the
Oh, okay.
sergeant, and the sergeants are full Space Marines. But
Maybe
the
he still
other
has
guys
that-
around him aren't.
Maybe he still has the lingering memory of the male appendage.
So he has a phantom sort of
Yeah,
like thing going
yeah,
on.
Phantom Fear of Peen attack. I can't have the Tyranids attack that first. Protect.
No.
Oh no! I've just had this image of Hormagaunts give us Gene Seed. No, get away. Adam White says, "Is the Sergeant Kirioth?"
Actually, now that I look at it, oh my god! Actually,
yeah. Nick Davidson said exactly the same thing. Is it here? Is that Kirioth? That is Kirioth, isn't it?
It is Kirioth, isn't it?
Kind of. Yeah.
Huh, bloody hell!
Wow.
Where's my Andy vampire?
Yeah.
Games Workshop.
Zombie. We could just do a zombie. I'm not good enough to be a vampire.
I disagree. I want Andy as a full-blown vampire. Yes, and Andicarus Milmanius. There you go. That's your name.
Can we have you as escaping? little rat grove.
Actually, I'm a little taken aback by how much that does resemble Kirioth. I want to screenshot it and send it to him.
I think you should.
Yeah,
I think you should.
I think that's quite incredible.
And then finally up the Codex Space Marines. So
I'm looking forward to this. I've got to say, as I am all the new codices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really happy that with this Codex you get a really cool looking guy with a robot arm. It's been ages since we've had a good robot Space Marine arm.
You know what really excites me about these new codices, and it's something we've seen in what we know about the Tyranid Codex as well. They say it here in this article. You are not limited. The detachments that you get are not limited by chapter. Oh my god! Thank you. Yeah. So you've got like the detachments that are redolent of certain chapters, that have the flavor of certain chapters, but they are not like called your White Scar detachment. They are not called your Iron Hands detachment or whatever. You can play whichever ones you like. Thank you. And I hope this is the same going forward for everything. Don't want to see like, the Black Legion detachment or the Word Bearers detachment, or anything like that. Give us like the forces that are redolent of them. So you can make them if you want, but people are not limited to them.
No.
Yes, please. No. Yes, please. This is what the game has needed for a long time. Long time. It just blows it open. It's like abandoning the Force organization chart, right?
Yeah.
So you're not sat there thinking, oh, I really want to take this in my army, but I can't because I have to take 3 troops options or whatever. You don't need to do that anymore. Or if you're playing an Ultramarines army, but you want to play them like this, you want to play them in a particular way. My Ultramarines army is a particular company of Ultramarines that fights this way. You can do it now. You can do it. You don't have to like muck about, which is really, really nice.
It just opens up the door for some really interesting themed armies, and I think that's something that 40k has always kind of struggled with. Because you have to do certain things, and that allowed people to really think outside the box in order to get those themes to work. This is going to be so much easier getting this stuff together.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just more freeing, isn't it? It just means you can do what you want, which makes a lot of sense.
Man.
I'm excited. I'm very excited. I'm very much looking forward. I already pre-ordered the Tyranids one. I'll be pre-ordering this one when it comes up as well.
I'll be interested to see what it's going to feel like, because this is going to really set the tone for what we know the Space Marines and the Imperium is going to be going forward for this edition.
Absolutely.
And whatever they go with, because with the Tyrannic War in full thing, I want to know, is this the Imperium on the back foot? Are they desperately trying to hold back a flood of Tyranid, or is it going to be a bit more hopeful? And
the trailer kind of suggested it was going to be less hopeful because all the planets were turning red with skulls.
Yeah, that seems to be the theme of 10th Ed,
Yeah. The Imperium one step closer to midnight. What are they at now? Like 6 seconds to midnight,
I think if we're looking at the doomsday clock, they're at past, aren't they?
The veterans.
Wow.
The Stern Guard veterans. There's one guy, and I've noticed something here which I didn't realize earlier on. The amount of beards that are taking place in these Space Marines is making me so happy. Even though most of them are bald, you do have different hairdos, and also now you've got different beards.
Yeah,
which
that's
means,
nice.
for the first time ever, Space Marines are going to actually look like a group of people. They're not going to look like the same bald head gurning person again and again and
Well,
again.
and it makes sense, doesn't it? Because especially for like the Ultramarines, I mean, like Ultramar is massive. It's a massive, like, it's not a whole galaxy, but it's an empire of planets, isn't it? And all of those peoples contribute to the Ultramarines chapter from loads of different cultures and whatnot. So it makes sense for them to have different livery and different hairstyles and all sorts of things. It makes perfect sense.
Why is the one with the flamer Matt Damon?
Matt Damon. Oh god, he really is, isn't he? Jeez Louise. My favorite Marine.
Yeah, bloody hell.
My favorite Marine is next to the bearded Stern Guard. There's a Marine with a white helmet, and he's holding his targeter next to his head.
Yeah, he's not looking through it. Yeah,
no,
he's sort of like, that's efficient.
I'm looking at it like those arms mean he can't actually put that target to his eye.
He can't actually. Oh, I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. The helmet is getting in the way.
Remove your helmet and grow a beard, my son. Also, hold this key. Great. They're really cool. They are really, really
They're lovely,
cool,
aren't they? I mean, insofar as Imperial Marines go, they're very, very nice indeed. I like this aesthetic where they're a bit bulkier and a bit bigger, and they're not as like ornate as they have been, but there's still just enough going on. There's just enough. I like it. I like it a lot, actually.
I think this is the Primaris finally growing on me.
Yeah, me too.
No, I won't go that far. I think these look better, but I think a problem with the Stern Guard is the way that they've been designed seems very specific for specific chapters, which is fine. I understand, but again, when I see the tunic robes, I never see them as working desperately well for Ultramarines. It again just doesn't work. Yeah, the tabards.
Yeah,
not for the Roman aesthetic that the Ultramarines are meant to be. At least for me, anyway. It's more of a sticking point for me, and I accept that.
No, I can see where you're coming from completely. If it was, I can see it working with Blood Angels. I can see it working with Dark Angels.
Definitely.
Salamanders maybe as well.
You could do Salamanders if you were cool and you were able to get the tabards to turn into scales, basically. That would work.
That'd be very cool, wouldn't it?
It wouldn't work for the white scars at all, though. And I don't think the Iron Hands would faff around with tunics or tabards. No, not robot. Don't care.
White scars just keep tripping over their own tunics.
I'm going too fast.
Right, should we move into some AOS? Because look at this, there's some AOS.
Oh, is there? Oh my god, yes, there is. There is a little bit.
Yeah, we've got Trug.
Oh, now I like him.
I love him.
It's been a while since we've had a Troll King. The last Troll King was what was his name from the Chaos Warrior books towards the end of Fantasy?
Bugger. I know him. I play isn't it Throg?
Throg, that's right. The one who killed Zigvold. He killed Zigvold originally.
Ate him.
Yeah. Smashed him to bits and ate him, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said hate him, not ate him.
No, ate him.
No, ate him.
Actually ate him.
He's very pretty meal. I don't blame him.
I suppose he looks good, doesn't he?
Yeah. He look good enough to eat, nom.
Makes an attractive meal,
Does he look better and more appropriate for these guys than the big centaur from the last big event?
Oh my god, yeah. Like a million times, yes.
I would have chosen this guy for the big
me too.
Thing.
He's great.
I've got a bet I want to make with you guys, right? My bet is that we never hear from Kragnos ever again.
I have a feeling he's going to be recessed quite a lot.
I think he's never going. I don't think he's ever going to reappear. I think you might get a occasional little note
reference
that he is
to what he's doing. Yeah,
he was in thrown into a parallel dimension, or he's in the realm of chaos or something, and you will never see him in the narrative ever again. I think
he may be done. Yeah,
yeah. I think he's one and done. I don't think he anyone likes him enough. And I don't think he fits either. So as a result, he's gone. These guys, though, I mean,
Wow.
I
Yeah.
love what they've done with the Troggoths in AOS. I think
Mhm.
I didn't like the late Warhammer Fantasy Battle trolls. I thought they were a bit bland.
Mhm.
Whilst the old fourth ed trolls are just like glorious.
Mhm.
And the ones before that are just a mess, but they're still goofy and charming.
Mhm.
These guys I love to bits, and the idea of doing a full Troggoth army is something that's like sat in the back of my head for a while. And now you got this guy, and this guy is
The Troll King. He's awesome.
he's stunning.
Yeah,
Can we have more of the little tiny baby troll with the mushrooms on his head?
Please,
It's brilliant,
please.
right?
I want to see more things like that turn up. He's great.
Yeah.
That base is gory. Oh,
Yeah, and I love the notion that he's got like this arcane altar on his back that's causing him a lot of problems. He's got a perpetual headache, hasn't he, because of the magic coursing from it.
Have you read
These will never replace my love for the classic river trolls. Never.
No.
But I think they are very nice looking. I like them. I just don't love them like I love those river trolls back in the day.
No, I can completely agree with you on that. I think the river trolls and the stone trolls, the rock trolls from that era, from the mid-90s, are pinnacles of what you could do with sculpting back then. They've got so much character.
They're lovely.
Oh yeah, they are. They absolutely are. But these guys, I think they're great.
They're very good. Yeah.
Yeah. I love. Are you looking at
of character in them?
Better
right?
than the Sons of
Loads
Behemoth as well.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
Again,
yeah,
personal
yeah.
opinion.
No, I totally agree with you. There's just so much goofy character. These guys, I am convinced, are what happens when you let the Blood Bowl sculptors go into AOS.
Yeah, they do have a certain Blood Bowl feeling about them, don't they?
Yeah, there's a little bit more of a
Sense of
pushed,
humour.
yeah.
There's a bit of sense of humor going on with them, which I like.
Has anyone tried to make these into like the original concept of trolls by adding like fur to them?
Not to my knowledge.
That could
Nice
be
idea,
quite
though.
interesting.
Nice idea, though.
Yeah.
Was Finnish?
Yeah. Well, the Arctic Circle in general.
Yeah.
Are where the old troll legends come from.
Anyone wants to make a furry troll? That'd be interesting on the Fluffenhammer for us to look at.
What's with the guy who's got like a rock strapped to his head?
It's to stop him from getting hit in the head.
That's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant.
That's his little hat.
That's why he's got the grin
nest on his head.
Yeah.
No, the idea is that they strap rocks to their heads because they see other people wearing helmets.
Brilliant.
So they think the same kind of thing.
Utterly brilliant.
They're honestly, the amount of story that happens inside the miniatures for these things are superb. There's one of them, and he's holding like a little grot up in the air, and you don't know if he's going to throw it or eat it, and it's just, I love it.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. That is cool stuff.
And this guy here, oh my god, the brute. He is Trug, the Troggoth King, the brute. Oh,
we didn't know about this for the Dawnbringers, did we? We knew there was the Blight guys, the Nurgle guys. We knew there was the goblins. There was the new. Was the what? Sorry,
the big pig for the Iron Jaws.
Yeah,
that's right. Yep. Who else did we know about?
The Fire Slayer.
The Fire Slayer. That's about it. Yeah.
You look at this guy and look at the Fire Slayer.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah,
oh god,
it's a bit sad, isn't it, in comparison?
The limitations of the Fire Slayer's the thing more than anything. Yeah, so this makes 5. They're not going to do any more for this, are they? Because 6 seems a bit too much.
This is only book 2.
I was going to say they must be doing other stuff because there's 4 books, aren't there?
There is.
Oh, there are only 4 books. Okay, so this has to be strapped alongside the goblins then that are coming out, right?
I would assume so.
I'd assume it must be part of Destruction, right? So I'd assume it must be part of that range.
What was the undead stuff? Was it like some more ghouls?
We've seen nothing official. We've seen one ghoul.
That's right.
Been it.
Yeah,
we've
seen
it for death.
Do you think they'll release alongside it the new ghouls?
I'd assume
just to get them out.
And the flesh of the courts. Yeah,
that would be my guess.
So we'll get the new ghoul hero, whatever like role it plays, and then the new just ghoul models.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, 2 releases. That's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Seems
didn't
fair.
realise that in this Stormbringers you've got an army of renown for the Caradron Overlords in it as well.
Oh well, that's
The
interesting.
Grundstock Expeditionary Force.
So they'll be
That's,
coming out alongside the Fire Slayers, I would imagine. Then, right?
I'm not sure. Not sure. I don't know if
guess
there's
so.
any. I think it's just going to be an army list reading this rather than.
All right. Then
Oh,
new
right,
models.
I see,
Okay.
No.
right, okay.
which is fine. That's not a problem. The Caradron have got a good range. If they don't get anything else for a while, I'm not going to complain. Yeah, there's other armies out there that need it more than the Caradron do. But yeah, honestly, this guy is hands down my win for Nova. He is gorgeous. I love him to bits. So moving on, then we've got a little bit more destruction because the Iron Jaws have getting at last.
So you're buying these?
It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while.
Absolutely. Well, the thing I'm happy about. Well, there's a lot of things I'm happy about with this. Everything here I'm happy about. But the big thing I'm happy about is that the Ard Boys finally look like their Iron Jaws. Rather than being the Black Orcs, because the Black Orcs are obviously going back to the old world, and we finally get the Ard Boys looking like actual Iron Jaws, and they look stunning.
They do look really good.
These are the best Iron Jaws I've seen. I was like, they look really good. Really good.
I love the armor, the beaten armor. I think that's brilliant.
The pig iron. It's I mean, everything here works for me. The pig iron, I love the fact that
weapons, which are so exaggerated.
Those shields with just the bits of spikes just welded on and riveted into place, and the face masks with the tusks at the bottom. Everything here works for me. I'm astounded with how good they look. And then not only that, you get some other parts that come out for the Iron Jaws, including Auric Fanatics.
Yeah.
The
two kinds.
We get the Weird Brute Wreckers, and you get the Brute Ragers. So the Brute Ragers are obviously the Auric version of a Troll Slayer. So they just go around looking for the biggest thing to kill. And the Weird Brute Wreckers are the Fanatics. They just eat a load of mushrooms,
aren't they?
Yeah.
They're just bigger. Yeah.
They go proper wonky. That's so good.
They literally swing around with their balls and chains and like hurl themselves at the enemy.
Yeah.
I think they've got the best helmets out of these new orcs.
Yes,
to be honest.
I love the helmets on these guys.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100% agreed. They're stunning. They're so good. I'm beside myself with joy at how good they are.
If these work like the Goblin Fanatics, I think there's a bit more interest going for a Goblin Fanatic just for the juxtaposition of tiny Goblin with big chain ball.
Big ball and chain,
versus this, which makes more sense. And just, this is what the smart people would do versus the Goblin, which is what the dumb people would do. But these just look amazing. These look great. And they're two really very distinct differences from basically one kit, right? Because they're the same kit, just with different parts.
The same kit, are they? That's cool.
That's how I understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the legs are the same.
Oh, yes, you can sort of see. Yeah, no, but that's quite cool. They do look very distinct.
Very different. Yeah,
that's cool. I like that.
All you need to do is really paint the legs different, and they'll really look completely different. I think.
Yeah.
What makes me happy as well is it means that you'll have a load of spare parts left over to do some real fun stuff with.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, man, that works for me. That really works for me. And then, of course, there's the star of the show, Clonk.
Oh, the squig.
And of course, he comes with a free Zogrok Anvil Smasher.
Oh,
but Kronk with his little Elvis-based rock hairdo.
Is that is so cool, isn't it?
He's a living anvil.
He's a living anvil, isn't he? That's the whole thing, yeah?
He's so good.
Another really cool squig.
Yeah, happens a lot, doesn't it? It's the squigs, the nurglings, they just seem to capture people's hearts.
The fun ones, because they're silly.
Yeah, that's it.
Basically, it's just a walking anvil.
He's happy about it.
He seems to be okay about it, doesn't he?
But I love the idea of an Iron Jaws blacksmith. Oh yeah, man, that's so good. big old mutilated face and his
I love his
weird
face. I think
dragon
that's
tongues.
one of the best face sculpts on an orc, like orcoid I've
That's
ever
good.
seen from Games Workshop. It's brilliant.
I've never seen this in blue lid under the eye before.
No.
But that really,
Doesn't it
really
work?
works.
Makes it
Yeah.
pop, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
Good luck painting that, though.
Yeah, I was going to say best of luck with that one.
I didn't say I was going to do it. I just thought but yeah, all in all, these iron jaws are stunning, and I am so glad, because if this is what we're going to see going forward, if we're going to get to see a bit more stuff like this happen, I'm so happy. I mean,
what do you prefer him with? Hot sword or the tongs? I like him better with the tongs, I think.
I like the tongs.
I like the tongs. I think the tongs are better.
Yeah, there's the sword's really cool, and I like his bandaged hand that comes with it. You know what I was saying before about the minute you're telling a narrative, that is perfect. You know, he's got his big lava sword and he's got his hand all bandaged up from it. That's
is
really
the bandages on the hand specifically painted? Because it doesn't look like those have been molded.
No, I think they're molded.
They are on the wrist. I mean, on the like where the thumb is. That looks like it's been painted. Though they don't look like shadows to me. They look like painted bits.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. No, I think they
Oh,
are.
no, they are molded.
I think they are molded.
Because there's there's like a bandage hanging off of that hand.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
Okay, good, because that would be a nightmare to
would,
freehand bandage.
Yeah, freehand that. No thanks. No, thank you.
But no, I prefer the tongs. I think the tongs are really cool.
Yeah.
And also it means that you could take the bandaged hand and put it onto a different iron jaw. And say, I've got a sore hand. Help me, I've hurt me hand. Or you could just hang it out of a squig's mouth. You know, either or.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah.
Yeah, I adore these orcs, and that's all. Honestly, any more I say about it, it's just repeating how much I love them, because I do.
Bye-bye, Gruff Money. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
because you got like 4 or 5 sets, right?
I've got a 3,000 point iron jaw army. So I will have
4 sets. Yeah, 4 sets.
Yeah, 4 sets out for the iron jaws.
Oh, 5, because you need to buy 2 of the wreckers, so you can build both variations. Oh,
very true.
well.
Yeah. I still don't actually have the death cabbage. The big the maw crusher.
You don't have that?
Oh, yeah, you don't have that, Adam.
I thought you had that.
Yeah,
nope, I don't have it. Because I didn't like it, because all the pictures of it are terrible. So I never bothered with it, and I instead got a one of the ogre big hairy things, and I just said, right, well, he's riding a squiggoth, and that'll do me.
That'll do, right?
Yeah. But then I've seen it since in person, and it is a really nice model.
Yeah.
It's just that the pictures make it look so
bad.
flat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you see it from the side. It's
how
actually really.
often that happens these days. It's really odd, isn't it? Like, we were talking about the new Demon Prince recently. That's a really good example of this. Like, for some reason, the paint scheme and the photographs, the official photographs, do not do it justice. It's really odd.
It is. It's a strange one. Or maybe it's just they're really hard to get a decent picture of, you know.
Maybe that's it. Maybe they just don't photograph well, which is a shame, really.
It is. Should we move into some Horus Heresy?
Yeah, let's.
Dreadnought. Big Dreadnought.
Is it resin or plastic?
This, I seem to remember hearing, is plastic.
I'd say that's good then, because I would assume this kind of Dreadnought would be resin otherwise. So that's good.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And people have been wanting this for a while.
It's not the best Dreadnought.
The
standard Contemptor is better, and it's not the square box, but this is still fine.
It's fun. It's interesting. It's a nice variation.
Yeah.
I think you'll find that Paul is the best Dreadnought.
Which one's Paul?
Paul was the very first Dreadnought.
The very one.
Oh yeah. It wasn't called Paul. It was like the Palios pattern or something like that. But
people call it Paul, right?
Yeah, I just remember everyone calling him Paul.
This one reminds me way too much of Ed 209. The more I'm looking at it,
it's got that feeling about it.
It must be the arms. I think it's the arms that make me go Ed 209. I just imagine him on his back crying like a baby.
Yeah.
I do like how clunky he is. is proper clunky. He's
Well, he looks like a big weapons platform and little else, doesn't he?
You can give him giant plasma cannons. I didn't know that. Oh my god, and a flamer.
What I'd want to do with that is build it up, but then not have the helmet part in place, but just have somebody sitting inside it driving it, just like a little commissar or something. Yarrick, I'd put Yarrick in it. The ghost of Yarrick.
As long as his head's in a fish bulb.
It's just Yarrick's brain.
This is like 11,000 years before Yarrick will be born.
Yeah, but it was the only thing they could find when they scooped Yarrick's brain out, and then put a little cap on the brain and then stuck it in this.
What if Yarrick was?
I do think there are rules for this in 40k. I do think there are still some Deredeo dreadnoughts around.
Really?
Not many, but they do exist.
Yeah, they are super expensive in 40k.
I bet.
Oh yeah, because they're mental, aren't they? Like the amount, like they are really, really silly in terms of their rules. It's like for fun only.
I'd rather take this than the Primaris one personally, because it looks cooler in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh yeah, it looks great. I mean, this looks amazing.
What you could do, right, is you could get it, build the legs, stick the legs on the bottom of a Land Raider, and just have a walking Land Raider.
Oh, you need 2 sets of legs for the Land Raider.
Ah, true. Yeah, very true. Aye. Oh, then you put them on the outside, and it looks like a big old spider crab just scuttling towards you.
It would make a demon engine. You could put it on like Defiler legs or something, and have it scuttling.
Get 6 legs, put them on wheels, and put the wheels on each side of the Land Raider. So then it's like 3 legs per wheel, so it just spins around and it walks.
It just looks like the Isle of Manx symbol.
We ran out of wheels, so we got legs, and we used them instead. I don't know.
We come from a world where wheels are outlawed.
But sir, there's hover technology in it. Yeah, but we have to have wheels just in case.
Oh man, yeah, he's very cool, and there are ideas for things you can do with them. Moving into Warcry.
No, there's still the
Iron Armor,
the classic design.
Yeah.
Oh, my apologies.
The Iron Armor
yes,
Space Marines. They're really lovely, actually. I mean, the Iron Armor, the reason they look like Death Guard is because that's the armor that the Death Guard generally utilized.
I thought it was just meant to be Mark III, but it's a specific kind of Mark III.
Yeah, it's Iron Armor. Yeah, it's with the spike on the helmet and everything. Yeah. It's for some reason the Death Guard favored it because apparently, in the lore, it's supposed to be like the most sturdy of the Space Marine armor. Like it's uncomplicated. It doesn't have any fancy devices in it or anything like that, but it's very easy to repair.
Right.
And just maintain,
Oh, practical.
Yeah,
I like that.
Exactly. Which is what the Death Guard were all about back then.
Yeah.
The practical and the theoretical.
It's kind of cool. They're lovely. I mean, they look like, for all the world, like Death Guard before Nurgle got to them.
Yeah.
Which is what they are.
And if you just throw away those heads, you can throw in some standard Mark III, and they're just better, more in proportion Mark III armor than at that point. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can do a lot with these guys. You can do a hell of a lot. You can sort of kit bash them for 40k if you liked, that'd be fun. You could do quite a lot with them. And of course, Iron Armor, it's not exclusive to the Death Guard. Obviously, these are Sons of Horus, for example.
Everybody use them, right?
Yeah, anyone can use them. All of the Space Marine legions would have used it at different times. And, and you'd get like companies of Space Marines that were far flung from the main legions that would be using it in different battle zones, that kind of thing.
I guess it's not a problem with it. Like you said, it's uncomplicated. So visually, it's maybe a bit boring, but it's meant to be. So
it's meant to be. Yeah. It's uniform,
I don't know. I don't know what else you do.
It's kind of what the Death Guard were all about. Unpretentious, practical. Get on with it.
Until they got all big and fat and smelly.
Until they got smelly. Yeah. But I like it. There's something about it I like. The silhouette I like.
They've got a really cool, simple design, haven't they?
Yeah. It's fun.
The Iron Warriors they painted up looks really good.
It would look. It would look great for the Iron Warriors. Yeah. And again, they were a legion that used it a lot.
Thousand Sons, not so much.
Not so much. I wouldn't. No. I would avoid it for the Thousand Sons.
Yeah. Same for is that Grey Space Wolf? I guess it's meant to be a Space Wolf.
I'd assume it's a Space Wolf, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't work for a Space Wolf either, I don't think.
No.
Ultramarine, yes, because they're pretty boring as well.
Bless.
I'm not right. No one's standing up for them. No one's saying, no, Andy, that's not fair. It's like, no. The Legion Oni's Astartes battle group box is a big kit as well. Yeah, a lot in it.
There's a lot in it, isn't there? It's
huge amount.
Quite fun.
3 sets of the new armor, Land Raider thingy, and the big dreadnought.
There's
big
a lot
set.
going on, isn't
I do
there?
like that Land Raider. I do like that Land Raider a lot.
Yeah, it's very classic.
Yeah, it's a nice sort of Space Marine force, isn't it? That.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to do a firstborn army, I don't think you could go wrong with getting that.
No,
Big D. No, if Big D was here, he'd be getting 2 of these easy.
No, he wouldn't be getting them. He'd just have them.
No, that's true. That's true. Did materialize in his home.
Yeah, I don't think he actually buys this stuff. I think it just arrives.
It just arrives
beams
via
in.
like a warp portal or something.
He's got like some kind of weird inner sanctum or something where things just appear. He puts down like a couple of pairs of like apples or something, and he just turn into something from Games Workshop.
The great apple sacrifice. Yes.
Yes. That's how you get a core set.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
I wish I could press my duck button on the soundboard, but I can't. I'll be quacking away like crazy.
Should we move into Warcry?
Yeah, let's. I mean, whoa, some nice stuff happening here.
Holy mother of Christ!
Now we knew about one of the parts of the set. We knew about the Cities of Sigmar, guys, because that was revealed a few weeks ago. I didn't know. We didn't know it was part of the box set, and we didn't know it was going to be. What are these guys? Because these guys look like they were from the Nausicaa factions, because they had these kind of guys in them. So I can't remember what they were called.
We've got Cities of Sigmar, which look really good. We'll come to them in a moment.
Yeah.
And then we have the Gorka Boca.
Gorges.
Whoa.
So these are ogres, kind of. But they've also got a fair bit of ghoul to them.
They've got a lot of ghoul going on, these guys, haven't they? Wow.
These are stunning. These are absolutely 100% incredible.
Well, they look scary, don't they? These things look really threatening. They're quite fantastic.
Yeah, they are just terrible, like terrifying.
Yeah,
absolutely. So these things prowl on the outskirts of more tribe camps, and where the ogres have left behind all of their rotting meat, these things go to feed.
Oh, so they are effectively ghouls, right?
They're ogre ghouls. Yeah,
they're ogre equivalents of ghouls. Yeah,
nice.
Very nice idea, actually.
Yeah, so these are they're ghouls that follow the gulping god, the maw pit,
the great maw.
Yeah. Honestly, these are stunning, and I'm annoyed that these are kind of like stuck in the ogre armies. I want these in ghoul. I want to see these things set up in ghoul armies.
Absolutely. When I first saw them, I thought they were.
Yeah. I mean, they really are, aren't they? They're so big and misformed and misshapen and wrong, but god damn, they're good.
They are really, really cool. I have never been bothered about anything from the Ogre Maw tribes at all. They are like for my tastes, they've been one of the least interesting armies in like FB and in AOS. These guys are brilliant.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think that the ogres have always been an army in search of an identity.
Yep, definitely.
And they've gone through a couple of different ideas and a couple of different ways to try and find that identity and to make that identity work. But this is the first time I've ever seen ogre stuff and just gone, I want this.
Yeah, it's great. It's really cool.
Do ogres work better as a supplementary mercenary force, or like individual ideas like this, rather than a cohesive civilization?
I think they work best when they are in with like an order faction.
When they're with another faction, that's when they work best. Definitely.
I don't even think they work well with orcs, because you've got the orcs, which are the big things looking for a fight, and then you've got ogres, which are the bigger but not as strong things that are looking for a fight and a meal.
I say orcs just on the basis that mercenary, because I still like the idea that they could be hired by anybody. But
absolutely.
It's mainly humans orcs probably wouldn't hire them.
When they're the big brutish beasts that the Cities of Sigmar have next to them, there's a real sense of what's the word I'm looking for here? There's a sense of disparate entities there, and I really like it. It works really well, having like the little dude and then the big guys next to them.
So
And the big guys,
yeah.
But the big guys are trying to look all super smart and everything. There's something that I like about that. So the ogre that's in Curse City, I think he is perfect.
He's really good.
Yeah,
Really good.
That is what I think of when I think of ogres.
Yeah.
Just ogres in general. Actually, that's the type of thing I always think of.
I've never felt they worked as an army, as a
No.
force or as a. It just doesn't work for me anyway. Personally,
I think there's a couple of things happening with the ogres, which, unlike a lot of other fantasy battle armies, they're too attached to one element of history.
That's it. Yeah.
And because of that, they're Mongolian. That's it. They're just big Mongolians who are always hungry. But that's what I mean by they always feel like they're in search of an identity.
Well, presumably, hence this, right? It looks like they're trying out different things, doing something a bit more diverse with them.
It's what Warcry does, isn't it? Warcry always takes the like a little throwaway idea and runs with it, and then you get something like this. And honestly, if I don't know, you got an undead ogre army, a ghoul ogre army that was just all this, I would be hard pressed to say no.
That'd be very cool. And you've got this awesome terrain as well, the Sarlacc pit thing.
Yeah, the more pits.
It's great, isn't it? That's a lovely thing.
The more pits that always go down. Ugh. It sets something off in my brain that I feel scared of looking into them in case I fall into it. It really just messes my head. I don't know what it is.
It looks really playful, this thing. It looks like a play set. It looks like a Mighty Max or something.
Oh, I was thinking the slime pit from He-Man.
Yeah. Like that. Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah. And the Six Sigma guys, they are really good.
They're really good.
Do you like dog? This is set for you. This is the goodest boy set.
Yeah,
and men.
Definitely. I mean, this is obviously in response to like all of the fan just outcry about there being animals in the set, right? Which everybody always loves. Everybody always loves. But okay, have 4.
Yep. The goodest boys.
And also have others that go on the basis of the guys as well, because why not?
Yeah. I mean, Britain known for their love of like dogs specifically, so this seems like the British set to me.
Considering that they are mostly bulldogs as well, which are a British breed.
I'm a little sad there's not one corgi. It wouldn't fit, but I'd like one really happy-looking corgi, maybe with his mouth covered in blood.
See, I really like the Gargolian. That's
what?
So if you look at the guy with the crossbow, above him there is a lass with a spear, and then there's a little creature just next to her foot.
Yeah,
I saw that. I didn't know what that was. I thought that was a gnome.
No, it's a Gargolian. So these things are little impy sprite type creatures that just appear whenever the Dawnbringers make civilization.
Oh, right, okay.
Right. So they're these weird little things, and they're not there until people start arriving, and then they just start springing up, and they follow around, and they help, and they're just weird little spirits.
That's concerning.
They're not house elves, are they?
I don't know what they are, but I love them.
Yeah, that's concerning.
The Cities of Sigmar, I've got loads of them, and they're all weird. They don't all look like this. They're all sorts. It's why
they've got different forms and things.
Yeah, so that's why they're called Gargolians, because they look like gargoyles.
Right. Okay, that is fascinating.
Oh, it's honestly
it's almost like demons of civilization.
Yeah,
like
little demons of order.
Like the old Roman idea of the house gods, the household gods. Yeah,
that's exactly it. Yeah,
the spirits that help out around the house. Yeah.
Never trust something helpful. That's what I've learned from Warhammer in general.
Yeah, I was going to say, in this metaphysics, it's probably got some sinister edge, doesn't it?
Oh, it will do. This will be one of the hooks that they've got in the book, just to really make things nasty. Yeah. But yeah, I love them. I think they're absolutely brilliant.
They are very cool.
I like the fish with the one eye as well, with the guy who has the crossbow on the same image. By his foot.
I didn't even see him. Yeah.
Little fish with one eye. It reminds me of the three-eyed fish from The Simpsons, especially with his upside-down smile. Yeah, Blinky. I don't know why. It makes me think of Blinky, but he's only got one eye.
We'll call
he
him
looks like
Blinky.
he's really stoic. Like he's like, yeah, go on, shoot him.
Stoic fish.
And the guy saying to Phil Mitchell, like, go on, Phil. He's like, I've got this, Frank.
Right, Peggy, I've got him in my sights. I like Robin Hood. Robin Hood in the Robin Hood and his two merry friends.
The one with the gruff beard.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Not shit. didn't think of that. I saw him and went, oh my god, it's Robin Hood. And that makes me very happy. Because honestly, they make me feel like the really old stuff that was coming out for Fantasy Battle. Yeah, it feels like those things being evolved into like newer forms.
It
does
look
make me
good.
so happy. I love these guys. I love the Cities of Sigma. I can't believe how much I'm just into the Cities of Sigma.
This is the first Warcry set where everything in the set is something that I like. Usually, I've said before, there's only like one force I like in it, but everything in the set I like. I like the dogs. I like the ghouls. I think the scenery is good. It's just it's all on point for me personally.
Right?
Yeah,
it's all good. It's a very, very decent set.
Yeah,
I would actually quite like to get this set. I think that's
wow.
And it's been a while since I got a Warcry set. But these guys are just great. I really want to paint those ogres. I think there's a sentence I never thought I'd say, but I really want to paint them, and I just love the Cities of Sigma stuff, and I think this would be a really good starting point for the Cities of Sigma force.
You could bully your mate at work to share the set with you.
True, actually, yeah.
You'd be like, you like Age of Sigma? Well, there's this really quick gameplay system where you don't even need a big army. You just get this box set and you're done, unless you want to buy other smaller armies as well.
I wonder if I can get it done with the with Works petty cash and just have it as a something that we just keep in the office for when we're having a stressful night. We'll just stop and have a half-an-hour game of. I don't see that one working somehow.
I don't think that would work out.
But I quite like the idea of taking a Warcry into work. Just turn the phones off. Play some Warcry. Moving on then into Blood Bowl, because I really want Andy's reaction to these guys. Holy shit, the vampires.
The vampires, right?
Andy, how do you feel?
Since they've had a presence in Blood Bowl, right?
1997 is the last time the vampires had a proper run for Blood Bowl.
Yeah,
that's a while ago.
That's about when the last Luther model came out, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly it.
Isn't he like one of the historical characters? He's a commentator now, isn't he?
Yes. Is he a commentator now? I think so, actually.
In if you look at the timeline, he's not a player anymore. He's a commentator.
I'm gonna have to grab hold of the Blood Bowl timeline. Something else I never thought I'd say, which also I do have that timeline because I've got an entire 7-part article idea about the history of Blood Bowl going from start to finish.
Is that a long one? Is that a lot of history to Blood Bowl?
You'd be surprised.
Yes.
There's a lot.
Oh.
Yeah. You'd be surprised.
All
right.
Absolutely. Right. Honestly, the amount of jokes that they managed to get into Blood Bowl is insane.
Oh, ridiculous. It's very 2000 AD. It could be a 2000 AD strip, Blood Bowl.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a reason that I always, in my brain, thought Mutant League Football and Blood Bowl were the same thing when I was a kid. Back in my Dungeon Bowl days. But of course, Dungeon Bowl. That's an interesting thing we found out this week. Anyhow, moving on. Vampires. What do you think, Andy? Are you interested in grabbing these? And can I guess which one's your favourite?
Yeah, they're really good. It looks like you barely have to do any work on them to make them Age of Sigmar.
No,
Blood Bowl, honestly, all you need to do is snip off a hand and put a sword in the hand.
And even then, you kind of don't need to even do that, because vampires are pretty strong if you wanted them to be anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
The Vargeist fits so well, doesn't it?
Look at him. Look at him.
That's amazing. That is a beautiful mini, that.
Yeah.
Which one's the Vargeist?
Oh, the big batty thing.
Where's he on the images? I see him.
One. The big sort of ghoul.
He's got the one winged arm, right? That one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
We've got 2 different ones. I think George might be back to back, the wrong way around. Because we're just looking at the team at the moment.
Yeah.
Apologies. Sorry, I'm looking at the characters. Apologies.
Oh, we'll come to them in a second. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
I didn't even see these guys.
Oh, you haven't seen the team?
No.
Oh, they're really good.
Oh my god, they're so good.
Yeah.
Oh
honestly,
my god.
A single hand swap to put a sword into a hand, and that's it.
Yeah.
You're done.
Wow.
And it's the same with every Blood Bowl miniature. I've actually got a lot of Blood Bowl stuff, which I put into Age of Sigmar without any hassle.
The first skeleton set I have, the helmets are a bit football-y because they have like the one football like metal band going across the eyes. Some of them have a lot of them have the wide-legged stance, which I've complained about before, meaning I can't really put them on standard skeleton bases. But these guys don't seem to suffer any of that. There is no distinct Blood Bowl iconography on them. There is a little small amount on the skeletons. And you could argue a small amount on the Frankenstein one with the ghouls with the pumpkin hats.
Yeah.
That would be hard to get away with in AOS, just being like pumpkin hat ghouls, but maybe not. But no, these ones are all good. I love the fact that a lot of them have the Lestat kind of frilly jumper.
I like that.
Cravat, The Lestat
really
cravat.
Like that.
Yeah.
God,
which one
so
did you think was my favorite?
I've got 2, which I think is your favorite.
All right.
One is the guy who is showing his bat off to his friends.
Not one of my favorites, but I do think that's funny, especially since the bat's smiling.
Yeah.
Well,
Look at my bat.
The vampire, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Or it's the vampire with a proper Nosferatu head that's crouched down and ready to charge.
Which one's
So you've got the one with the helmet and the one wing, and
Yeah.
then you've got proper Nosferatu head.
That one is a classic vampire look. Not actually my favorite. My favorite one is the one with the one bat wing arm because I really like the helmet.
That's definitely my favorite as well. That's beautiful.
Well, if you go into the next page, there's another crouching vampire with the helmet, and he is great.
I do want to say that the extra bit of like 2 bats and a football is quite fun. But my favorite piece is the bat inside the coffin, because that, to me, that doesn't look like it's. I mean, he does have a little scarf around his neck, which is kind of cute. But again, this feels like something you could just use as a bit of scenery or add to scenery.
Definitely.
The other ones, not so much. Not the tokens. That's I don't really know what you can do with tokens apart from again stick them on a surface and be like that's an iconography of on a building.
I use them for objective markers.
Objective markers.
That's actually not too bad of a call either. But this is a shockingly fantastic team. It's just a shame. Currently, you can only have vampires as heroes. It doesn't seem like at the moment in AOS there are like
vampire troops.
Yeah. Did we ever have Blood Knights on foot?
No.
In old.
No,
Warhammer.
No, they've always been mounted, and vampires classically have only ever been characters.
Yeah,
I thought that was probably the case.
You could have thralls not thralls, but like lesser vampires.
Yeah, but even they were characters.
It's a shame because it seems like it seems like this would be a good here's a court. Here's a court of a family court.
A court of vampires. What a great idea.
That could be quite fun.
Yeah, that's what an excellent way of updating the Soulblight vampires that'd be.
And it's maybe you could do silly rules for the families, the court's bloodlines, so then these vampires have specific buffs and stuff. And obviously they'd have skeletons for backup, but primarily these would be the damage dealers, and everyone would be a character of some description.
What a lovely idea.
Yeah.
I'm
I think it'd be work with thematic. The only reason I thought of that is because I think of the classic green background Vlad painting when he's sitting in his chair and he's got all the vampire cord around him. There's quite a lot in there. It's not like 1 or 2.
Well, the von Carstein, there were hundreds of them.
They're huge. Each of the 4 houses were pretty big. Well, I never really count Strigoi as a house.
A house as such.
They're just the rejects that no one likes.
Yeah, true.
What was it? It was the von Carsteins.
Von Carsteins, Necroc.
That's the one I can never remember. Necroc.
Necroc were the Nosferatu style ones. Lamian, Strigoi.
And what
they were the ghouls.
Which ones are the Blood Knight ones? What's that?
The Blood Dragons.
Blood Dragons. Blood Dragons are very cool.
Yeah, I like
Most
the blood
honorable.
back then.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
yeah.
hero vampires, arguably, maybe.
Born of Aborash, who still exists apparently.
He does.
Yeah, he's meant to be in a tower, isn't he? Or no,
Yeah,
didn't he
he's,
escape the tower?
He is Neferata's stable boy, apparently. That's the last bit of background we ever heard about him.
oh, very saucy.
Yep. That was the last bit of background we ever heard about Aborash.
Wow.
And
Which is a shame.
Should we move on to the characters? Because
Yeah,
I think,
wow.
yeah,
He's even better.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, every single one of these characters is an absolute stunner.
They're a bit of a triumph, these, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, Drakenborg is just great.
Yeah,
Like starting off with the Vargeist. Is the Vargeist turning from bats into the Vargeist? Is that the idea here? Like his legs are bats and he's forming into the Vargeist.
I think that's the implication here. Yes.
I think if we saw more shots of it, I'd get a better idea.
Yeah,
just from
I think it'd
one
be
angle.
easier from different perspectives. But yeah, I think that's what we're meant to be going for there.
To be fair, I just use this as probably what are they called? The Archregent. Yeah, the Archregent. It's just another Archregent.
I mean, it's just, and it's perfect, isn't it? I don't think you have to do anything to it. It just looks like one, right?
Because I think it's a bit small technically for a standard Vargeist. He's also a bit too human for a Vargeist.
Because Vargeist is supposed to be like really gangrel, aren't they? And like bestial.
Just a big bat that can actually fly, which is why he works better as an Archregent, I think, like Gruff said.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that.
Which one did you say you were looking at? Oh, the one with the glasses, right?
Luther.
Yeah, Drakenhoff.
He's a classic. He was like one of the first Blood Bowl characters, way back when.
But he was in first edition Blood Bowl.
Yeah, there was artwork of him, wasn't there? He was like one of the commentators. He'd make him and the other guy would make little jokes all the way through the book. Right?
Yeah, you're thinking of Jim and Bob.
Jim and Bob, yeah.
No, yeah, Luther wasn't one of them.
But, right.
But there is a shared design aesthetic that went from one to the other.
Oh, I see. Right.
So they've kind of gone right back to how his first edition miniature looked, which was meant to be Bob, but it then kind of somewhere they went two different ways.
Did they get cold feet in the end and be like, we can't call this miniature Bob, let's call him something like Luthor?
No, I think it was more they kind of ran with the idea that all vampires in the Blood Bowl Warhammer world wore glasses.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Like they wear sunglasses, which is I'm into that.
Yeah, of course they do, right?
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah, first new miniature in 20 years.
It's awesome, isn't it? And he's really good, right?
I love if you wanted an updated freaking hell, him from Ravenloft. Someone in the chat's gonna scream at me.
Of course they are.
The main guy from Ravenloft.
Strahd, yeah.
Strahd, yeah. If you
Strahd Ponzarovich, yeah.
Yeah, if you wanted a 2023 take on Strahd, that's it right there.
That's really cool, isn't it? Yeah. You could use him as a Strahd miniature. I think it would work rather well.
But he's just got so much arrogance to him. It's like,
is he part of the Von Carstein line? It looks like he would be.
Probably.
You could have him as easily. It would work as a Von Carstein vampire, wouldn't it?
With that arrogance, yeah. No.
Yeah, and he's also got the aesthetics of that line as well. You know, the slightly aristocratic, like classic Dracula vampire thing.
Oh, he's great.
Lovely. They are all very lovely.
I actually don't like the pirate one.
Captain Katarina von Rees.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. They don't go piratey enough, I don't think, for me.
Yeah, I know what you mean. She could do with a bit more pirate, couldn't she?
Yeah, like maybe give her a peg leg or like a squid arm, something like that. It's still not bad, but...
No, it's nowhere near bad.
No.
Yeah, compared to everything else that came out.
That's part of the problem, isn't it? I think it's her compared to all the others.
She looks less like a character and more like just part of the Blood Bowl team.
She does.
Yeah.
The only thing that makes her stand out to be like, I'm special, is that she has a silly hat. That's it.
Definitely.
At least in my eyes, and that's kind of a shame. Davison says a skeleton pirate. That would sell it. That would also sell. That would help a lot as well. Little skeleton or a rat monkey, like from Pirates of the Caribbean. They could have their skeleton rat monkey thing. Yeah, either.
I got really excited when I saw skeleton pirates. Like, where? Oh no! Oh, damn it!
If only.
Yeah. No, all it makes me think of is it just makes me really sad that there's no Vampire Coast miniatures.
Oh yeah. Oh, can you get any STLs for the Vampire Coast?
None that I would suggest, to be honest.
Ah, that's a
They're
shame.
not good.
Yeah, there's some really good. What's the big Umber Hulk things called? The big.
The Necroflex.
Yeah.
I think it's the Necroflex.
There's a couple
Big
of really
boat
good ones
that's
of them.
got cannons on its arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cool.
There's a couple of really good ones of them, but nothing else that's really.
Oh, that's a shame.
Grabbed my attention.
I would have liked to have heard like Luther Harkin, good mini, or like Captain Noctilus.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's weird that the Vampire Coast only exists in Total War.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's such a shame that.
Drives
Such
me
a
insane.
cool faction.
Well, Total War and one issue of White Dwarf. You know, it's
What
Just
about Man of War?
Family, add a family to the Soul Blight vampires that are pirates and just run with it, right?
Not Man of War. I meant Dreadfleet, which is another failing. No one remembers Dreadfleet. People know Man at War more than they know Dreadfleet.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think the vampires have had a ridiculously good showing for Blood Bowl. I'm going to have to get most of these, unfortunately.
Yeah. They're very, very good, aren't they? Like you said, it's ridiculously good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Moving from vampires to Slaanesh then, for more ridiculously good. Well, I say ridiculously good, the miniatures are. It's another Underworlds release, everyone.
Yeah, these are so good, aren't they?
Well, I would say the Slaanesh side is. I would say
the Slaanesh side is ace.
The other side is boring apart from Squid.
I haven't even looked at the other side.
Yeah, I think the other ones are just fine.
Yeah,
they're just standard. They just look like standard releases, while the Slaaneshi ones are going all out. The only the only one from their side that's worthwhile is the giant squid, which is quite
squid
cute.
Is ace. I want to use the giant squid as the head of like a demon prince, either Slaanesh or Zeech.
That'd be fun. I just want to take the squid to a bar, have a drink with him. You know, it's like
it's this whole thing that they keep doing of releasing animals or like companions with these
and
sets.
Yet no box set of them on their own.
No.
Where's the Friends of Sigmar animal box set?
But my God, these demonettes are amazing. I love the fact this is like an extension of what they've done with the Hedonites, where they're expanding them out. They're like making because obviously Slaanesh, in terms of the god's aspects, has expanded massively. In AOS. Now, so have the demonettes, and that's wonderful. I hope this is what they're using as a design basis for demonettes going forward. Where they do represent sins, lots of different types of sin rather than just that one aesthetic.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, there's going back to the idea of narratives within the miniature. There's so much going on here with the Slaaneshi side, ranging from seeing the different types of excess that each demonette represents, through to having like the twin-tailed snake. So you've got that Marathi attachment as well to the elves of AOS.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? It's a brilliant thing. I mean, my favorite, and I think most people's favorite one, is going to be the one from the Circle of Gluttony.
Yeah, you like the fat one the best. I like the four-armed one.
I think it's brilliant. The four-armed one's gorgeous too.
Yeah.
See, weirdly enough, my favorite's snake legs.
The snake leg one. To be honest, I love all of these, and the demonettes, and in fact, all of like the standard demons, like the troop demons, your bloodletters, plague bearers, pink horrors, they all need updating. They're old kits. They are old kits. I don't think people realize just how old those kits are.
Well, they're rank and file, aren't they?
Yeah. But they're from way back. They're from way, way back. They were originally released when the Chaos Space Marines in 40k and the Chaos Warriors in Fantasy Battle were originally separated from Chaos Demons, and they released 2 different books for each of them. That was way back.
So what edition was that?
4th edition Warhammer 40,000.
Okay.
So a long time ago. I don't know what edition Fantasy Battle it was.
I'm sure the demonettes have been updated since then.
No, they haven't. The standard kit hasn't. There's been bits and pieces added to them.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's been different heralds and things.
Yeah, because
but
the one
actual
before that was
set-
just the metal ones with the
That's
full,
right.
just full crab claws, right?
But the ones before them were actually the one Diaz ones.
Yeah,
Oh my
yes.
The really good ones that had like they were very beautiful, and they had like instead of the big crab claws, they had like bone barbs, and they
Oh,
were
that's
just
neat.
beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. But they were very short lived.
Yes, because they
They
were.
caused a bit of a stir, didn't they? Because they were
Yeah,
actually quite sexy.
Yeah, they were.
Like really were like a bit suggestive.
I wouldn't say they were suggestive. They were
Well,
dancing
they're
on
full
that
out,
line.
weren't they?
Yeah,
they were
they
full
were
out, you know.
absolutely on the line of.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed that those things came out, but
Me
they are.
too, actually. Looking at
brilliant.
them, I'm amazed they got away with them.
Yeah, they are gorgeous, and everybody always wants them.
Everybody
always-
loves them. Everybody loves them. I got, when they put them up for like the special order, I've got a box of them.
Mhm.
How many?
I think there's 12 in there,
Oh, okay.
which is kind of cool. And they are metal, which is kind of nice.
Yep.
Oh,
But they do need updating. All of them need updating. And if this is where they're going to go with the Demonettes, and I sincerely hope it is, great, wonderful.
these play really well with the last Slanesh box as well, because the bases for those ones were sandy, and these ones are all sand based as well.
It does seem to be a thing they're going for with the Hedonites, because they do have that slightly Arabic thing. They've gone to the 1001 Arabian Nights effectively, which makes a lot of sense given like the sensuality of those stories. It makes a lot of sense.
Oh, see, I saw Wishmaster
At
at the beginning of Wishmaster.
Same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Same
Yeah.
idea. Yeah, I mean,
the djinn,
it's a djinn. It's a genie, which is from 1001 Arabian Nights.
Yeah, absolutely. The Ideneth, they are all right. They're fine. The leader has a massive head.
All right, Jesus, come on, mate. Don't need to call her out.
I don't know
I
what
like
it
the
is, but
tiny squids. Oh, jellyfish.
I like the jellyfish things. Those are cool.
jellyfish are really cool, and the
right.
squid's
head
ace.
is massive. Jesus.
She does actually. I don't know whether that's a photography thing or whether that's the miniature, because that looks disproportionate, doesn't it?
Really
Now
does,
that I
doesn't
look
it?
at it.
Yeah,
Like her thighs and like arms are really small, especially compared to her.
I didn't notice until you mentioned it, but now I can really see
There's
it.
another one, the one just after the squid. It's kind of the same problem. It's not as obvious because of the giant chest piece, but the head's really big compared to the body.
That's what happens when you live under the water. Your head just inflates through like moisture absorption.
And I do like drunk squids out for a fight.
Yeah, he does
I
look
love
like
him.
he's up for a bit of a brawl, doesn't he?
The eyes on him are ace as well.
He's got Peter Capaldi eyebrows, doesn't he?
Oh, Peter Squidaldi, yes.
Yeah.
That's his name.
There's your episode title.
Peter Squidaldi, yeah. Super.
What is it he says it when he's the doctor and he looks at his reflection? These are attack eyebrows.
Yes. That squid's got attack eyebrows.
I wonder if it has a beak or not.
Oh, that's interesting. You can't see from here, but it'd be nice if it did.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Should we move on to the old world?
Yeah. There's not much there. But
Yeah. It's possibly the best unicorn that Games Workshop's ever made.
I'd say horse. Best horse sculpt.
Yeah.
It's lovely, isn't it? I mean, that is gorgeous. As the horse, I mean, the horses seem to be a thing at the moment, don't they? They're doing very good horses.
Yeah. It's such a weird sentence.
It is, but it's true. I mean, they've never done better horses.
No.
The anatomy is on point, especially on the face. Like that is a muscular horse face.
It is, isn't it? I mean, like you think of unicorns, you think something a bit more
freaking
fey, right?
Yeah, this is not a fey. This is just like he went to the gym.
Like Twilight Sparkle, this is not, right?
I've always liked the idea of unicorns being bastards. Just being it's a big bloody horse with a horn. Yeah,
so the Terry Pratchett thing. It's a horse with a horn, basically.
Yeah. And horse is already mad.
Yeah, but it is beautiful. I mean, it's obviously an update of like an older aesthetic. It's not the same character, but these are. I mean, it's the Grail lady, right? It's the Arthurian, yeah.
Sorry, I've just gone down the page and you look at some of the older ones. And it's like,
they're a thing.
Yeah.
Look at that first horse. He's so pissed off with his lot in life.
Duck face too.
To be fair, you would be, wouldn't you?
If you were that withered and somebody was riding around on your back, holding a sword like yeah, actually, you do hold the sword like that. And then, of course, the old classic one, which I still think is gorgeous with its big eyebrow horse wearing eyeliner. That's beautiful. But
Yeah,
this
that's the
new
old
one,
Cronian range, isn't it?
yeah.
Wow.
But then you look at this one. She's stunning. She is an
That's
absolutely
beautiful,
stunning
isn't it?
miniature. And it's a really weird one for me to get caught up on because it doesn't have any of the usual stuff that I like in a miniature, but just the amount of work that's been done on this.
It's stunning. I mean, it's a beautiful
incredible.
display piece. That is.
I'll give some advice, right, to the Games Workshop people. You want this to pop off? Go degenerate and take a loaded picture of her feet. I don't know why it's a thing in 2023, but you take photos of this lady's feet and put them on the internet, it'll pop off.
He is right.
Boob is not where it's at in 2023.
No,
it's feet,
isn't it?
apparently, and I don't get it.
No,
it's not mine either. That, but
no,
I'd be happy if your legs ended without ceremony. You know?
And to be fair, it looks like they've sculpted some nice feet on her. I guess they look practical.
They do, don't they? And not at all sort of like deformed, which is unusual, for humanoid miniatures.
And also, she's Nordic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She has a Nordic look, yeah.
Yeah, she has a Nordic toe.
Yeah.
Which is the second toe being the same length as your big toe.
Right.
Oh, I thought you just meant facial features, not toe features.
Nope.
Are you sure you don't have a foot thing going on?
No, I just know that that's a Nordic trait. That is something that
I think someone with a foot fetish would know those kind of information as
Probably
well.
would,
or to be more precise, it's somebody who was wondering why his feet were weird and did research on it.
And that too.
Why are the webs between my toes? I don't know.
Why have we got duck feet?
It's Nordic, I get you.
Let's finish the last bit. Yeah. Let's get into it.
The big one. This is the George story.
Should we do it? Yeah. Shall we get right? Speaking of someone who probably does have a foot fetish and like a fetish for everything else as well. Yeah. I mean,
do you think someone have sex with his? Do you think they have
you?
sex with his back holes? Because he's got 4 back holes.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, like. It's a bit of a sour note, this one, unfortunately, isn't it? And not just for me, for like almost like everyone.
Kind of sour.
It's kind of not gone down well.
I don't think it's sour. I think it's just weird.
I don't know if you looked at what people are saying.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking personally how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of people are annoyed at it.
They're very annoyed, and you know, it's one of those things you need to kind of balance, you measure out. I mean, obviously, this was meant to come out before. It was meant to come out a long time ago, right?
Yeah,
like almost everything was. And maybe if it had come out earlier at the time it was meant to, it wouldn't have been such a clanger.
Yeah,
but releasing it now in the way they did, just hasn't worked, and it's such a shame because this miniature is amazing.
It absolutely is.
I mean, I can't even. This is stunning.
Yeah,
this is like what everyone's been hoping for from Fulgrim. It is absolutely beautiful. It has the best face sculpt I have ever seen.
Mm-hmm. It is. Yeah,
I'd say it is the best head sculpt for a human character they've done.
It's so beautiful, and everything else as well. I mean, this is Fulgrim. This is what everyone has been wanting from a demon Fulgrim.
This puts to shame the standard human version. The human version looks shit compared to this. Compared to this,
it's like it's this is like light years away.
The human version looks like it was sculpted back in the 80s. No offense to the 80s people, but that's the difference in terms of quality.
That's the difference, right?
So different.
And like as the demon Primarch sculpts go, this is for me personally, this is the best. This is insanely good.
Yeah,
it's insanely good. Did you see how they did it as well? It's not just the timing. The video was a real problem, apparently. Like at Nova Open, all of the other Horus Heresy stuff had the Horus Heresy logo come up right away, right? Mm-hmm. So everyone knew what it was. This didn't. They started showing you the pictures of the demon Fulgrim, and it was even in the video. If you watch the video, it's in Warhammer 40,000 terrain. So it's like people were going nuts, and then at the end, the Horus Heresy thing came up, and people were not happy.
So do you think this was a last-minute addition to the event as well?
I think it might have been. I mean, I don't know what the thinking is with this one. They've really bished with the miniature is great and it deserves a better release than this.
Yeah.
But they've really bished with the timing. The timing is so bad. If this was a Warhammer 40,000 miniature or a cross purposes miniature where it could be both Horus Heresy and Warhammer 40,000, which makes sense since he exists in both, it would have been such a positive thing, especially for 10th Ed, right?
Yeah.
Since we're at the beginning of 10th Ed, and this as a signifier that somewhere down the line, doesn't matter how far away it was, we would be getting the Emperor's Children. It would have set up such a positive motive and impetus for 10th Ed. But they've actually been really explicit. It is only Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
And people are really annoyed.
It's so strange.
It's such an odd decision. And also, it's resin.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know it was designed to be resin. This is, and that, fine, whatever. The thing is, have you seen the resin? The resin, this is not going to survive. No. It's so, you can even see, if you look at the overall picture of Fulgrim, look at the spear.
Mm-hmm.
It's already, it's tilting under its own weight. That thing, as intricate as it is, first of all, the casting is going to be terrible because it always is. They've gotten better, but it does a miniature this elaborate. No, you're going to get such incredible flash on this. It's going to be unbelievable. And it's going to be
it's going to have the bubbles in it as well.
Of course it is. And it's going to be broken. They are going to get this, you're going to get this arriving broken in box, right? The bits are going to be broken. The wings, they're not going to survive like shipping and whatnot. No way. No way. Not in resin. It's a bit of a clanger. This may be, when we do the fluffies at the end.
Yeah.
Unless there's something really big in the rest of the year, this is it.
Don't give them ideas.
This is it. And it's such a shame because, we know that they are paying more attention now to what people want. And every single time there's a new thing like Nova Open, if you look at the comments on Facebook, on social media, when are the Emperor's Children coming? When are we getting Fulgrim? It's over and over and over and over and over again. So they know people want it. And there was also the way they handled it on the Warhammer page as well, the community page. It was badly done. There's like this. Well, they put a little asterisk next to it, and at the bottom said, well, let's rip the Band-Aid off now. It is not getting rules for Warhammer 40,000. And it's like, well, you're a hobby company, and you know what people want.
Write them. Surely you can write them.
What concerns me here is we have had rumors for 6 years.
Ages,
about
a long
Fulgrim,
time.
right? Which means that this is the Fulgrim that we've had those rumors about.
Yeah.
Which means this thing should have been out 2 years ago.
Yep.
Certainly makes a lot more sense in the timeline, but
it makes a lot of sense.
And you just, right, okay, that's a crying shame, and it's
a bit of a kick to the teeth. It's suggested. It's suggested. It's outright stated, really, that we won't be getting Fulgrim in Warhammer 40,000 for a long time.
Yeah.
And that means we won't be getting the Emperor's Children for a long time, which a lot of people are very, very upset about, and understandably so.
No, the Chaos Army that gets the least amount of love over the years. It's, it is a massive shame, a huge shame. Because, as you say, there's a lot to like about this thing.
It's awesome. The miniature, the product is insane. It's so good. The sculpt is so good. I
like the fact that he's holding the Soul Calibur from Soul Calibur. Now, I do have a question for you two, actually. Because you're talking about how good his face is. Would you say this is the most handsome miniature that has ever existed?
Well, apart from the squid,
just the face, because I look at that and I can see Henry Cavill.
It's beautiful, yeah. It is absolutely stunning.
Just look at the face. Look at the face.
Actually, it could be a reference, couldn't it? All things considered, it could be a reference.
And then just think about how he looked in Batman vs Superman.
Actually, yeah. Or as Geralt, obviously, with the white hair and everything. Yeah.
Are you saying the person that sculpted this has a proclivity to Henry Cavill?
Probably.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
But who doesn't, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
at this point, yeah,
It's a clanger, isn't it? They've dropped a bit
is.
of a clanger with this. It's a
It's sad.
mistake.
It feels like a weird double-edged sword. It's really cool, but
Yeah.
And
It's
it's
got
a
such
big but. It's such a big but. Like Fulgrim is my favorite Primarch, and this is what we've been waiting for such a long time. I am not buying this. It's a way. If it's going to be hyper expensive because it's resin, and it's going to be poor quality. I'm really
What are we
sorry. It's going to be
thinking?
poor quality.
price-wise, what do you think it'll be, considering how big like
100
monsters and
160?
dragon? I think more
200?
200.
Yeah. And
I
not a
see
chance.
200.
Not for an inferior product that you're not going to be able to do anything with without it breaking.
Monkfin says that he thinks that the Emperor's Children will be the end of 10th if they're coming this edition. It'll be a ramp up via the end of edition campaign, much like the Lion was.
I think you're right, because the
that makes
World
sense.
Eaters were basically the same, right? The World Eaters were the end, that transition from 9th to 10th,
I guess it depends what they have to catch up on and what they can catch up on this year, because
That's true.
that seems to be what they're doing at the moment. It's just, what did we not get out during COVID? We got to get it out now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's been an interesting collection of things this week, hasn't it?
Yeah.
What
a strange one.
It's just an odd decision, this one.
Yeah.
It would have been better, to be honest, if they just left it at this point. It wouldn't have fermented the bad feeling, which it has. And I mean, if you go and look, people aren't happy.
It's strange, just because like even doing this like 2 years ago, I think people would have been annoyed that it was resin. Because I don't think there's a way in this day and age, even 2 years ago, that you can release a mini and be like, oh yeah, guys, it's resin.
No, I think you're right, because people just don't want it, right? They just don't want the resin.
You can do upgrades as resin.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about it. I realize that Horus Heresy is where the resin is, generally, where the people with the money are, which is where the resin goes. But for a character like Fulgrim, it's like, oh.
Yeah. And Horus Ascended is 95 quid. Magnus is 100.
So this guy's going to be a lot, isn't he? Because he's bigger than both.
So he'll be hitting 200.
Or more. 200 up at least.
It's not going to sell.
It's so strange because every other Demon Primarch who would look like they do during the Horus Heresy, and Fulgrim's the only one who's Horus Heresy only and in resin.
Yeah.
Why? It's such a strange idea.
Decision not to make a plastic one and then just have it cross-purpose, right?
Yeah. Why not? Yeah, it just makes sense.
Yeah,
it just makes no sense whatsoever.
It baffles the hell out of me. It really does.
I wonder what the studio in-studio decision was for that, because it would be interesting to know.
Know. There is something about the tone and timbre of the Warhammer community page. They know it's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't a problem 2 years ago.
No, but it is going to be today.
Oh, yeah, obviously now. Yeah, certainly.
Well, if we go back 2-3 years, where we kind of now know where things were meant to happen, this popping out with the release of Horus Heresy, the actual Horus Heresy box set, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Obviously people would still be like, oh, it's only Horus Heresy, but you're riding the coattails of the Horus Heresy box set being released, and then this is the big standout to go alongside it. That makes a fair bit of sense, I think. But now in like this weird midst of the Horus Heresy, it's kind of over there. It's doing its thing. Epic's about to come out. Here's this mini, and it just feels odd. But obviously, they had it there. It needed to come out at some point, and I think at this point there was never going to be a good time to get it out.
No, I think you're right. I think that's part of the problem. There was never going to be, after it was pushed back, there was never going to be a good time to announce this, right? But doing it now at the beginning of 10th Ed, and especially just after we've just had the World Eaters and Angron, and also it's the way they did it as well. It's the way, like I said, it's the way they did it. It's the fact that video doesn't tell you that it's Horus Heresy at the beginning.
Yeah. It was poorly done. This is a big misstep on every single part of it. I don't think it's I don't think it's Cursed City big. But
No,
I
because
think
that's an
it's
entire like range. It's an
oh,
entire game,
that
right?
was just a fuck up that caused fuck ups that caused fuck ups. But this is a bad one. This
It
is not
suggests
a good look.
certain tone deafness, doesn't
Yeah,
it? It's
yeah.
it's just it leaves a slightly bad taste in the mouth. This one.
Yeah, absolutely. Darren in the chat has said it'll sell. I can't recall where I heard it, but hobbyists supposedly outnumber gamers in the
Oh
community.
yeah, I've no doubt. I've no
So
doubt.
yeah, it probably will sell. And Nick Davidson says, "How do I transport Fulgrim? That's the neat part. You don't.
You don't. No.
Yeah.
If this thing, you don't look at it wrong, right?
Yeah.
Or it'll break.
You know what I say? I say if you're gonna buy a resin fulgrim, there's no reason why you can't sign up to the Fluffenhammer podcast Patreon.
Absolutely. Yeah,
It costs way less.
Yeah,
way less.
I'll draw you a picture of Fulgrim every day for
Like
an entire month.
But I would be
200
interested. I'd be very interested to see how they're responding in their PR department. You know, in their marketing department.
do
Like what the response to this is.
Unfortunately, I think they'll do what they often do nowadays, which is just go, not saying anything.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's
Which-
what else can you do as a business?
Yeah.
Because you can't be like, yeah, we fucked up. You're not allowed to do that.
Although, you know, that would mean so much, wouldn't it? That would put so much
God, yeah.
right if they did.
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to do that because if you do that, stocks usually probably take a bit of a plummet. Or there's some legal issues with like if you do stuff like that, it negatively affects the stocks, which is illegal to do. So there's nonsense behind it anyway. There's legal nonsense.
Total nonsense, yeah.
So I don't think that's why I don't think any business comes out and goes, "Yeah, we fucked up." Usually,
Yeah, no, unless it's been like really bad.
yeah. What a weird one.
It is. But that brings us to the end.
Yeah, it is bizarre. Right, guys, I am going to have to run very quickly now. Okay.
No worries.
So thank you so much. This has been brilliant. I'm going to skedaddle a little bit earlier than anticipated. Okay.
No worries, man. No
Thank
worries.
you,
You take care
George.
of yourself. Bye-bye, George.
Bye.
And I think we're going to be drawing things to a close ourselves as well now. Andy, where can people find George? I'm kidding.
He's gone to the void.
Where can people find you if they want to find all of your lovely, luscious stuff?
You can find me on Twitter as Decayed Andy, Rotten Flesh Human Being, that kind of thing. Not 10-year period. Don't get it confused. We're on the Decayed Andy channel on Twitch here. I have Decayed Andy YouTube channel as well. I stream most nights during the week from about 10:15 UK time. We're playing Darkest Dungeon at the moment, which is quite fun.
Nice.
Also on the Moonbase 2 podcast every Sunday at 8 o'clock in the evening UK time with Mikey talking about Transformers. So we'll be doing that, not tomorrow because today's Wednesday, but we'll be Sunday. We'll be doing it Sunday. Woo! And yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the main places. What about Gruff?
You can find my personal things at adnickel.weebly.com. It has artwork, it has audiobooks, it has short stories, it has the rules for the Hive Desolate, a skirmish game that I wrote a while back, and it will also be hosting some other stuff not too distant future, actually, towards the end of this month. So yeah, if you want to play some skirmish games, there's a skirmish game for you there. I know that the rewrite should be out by now. That is entirely down to me because I just haven't had the time to actually. I foolishly do something like when I've got a couple of hours free once a month. It's I want to go and see people and play games.
How dare you?
Yeah, rather than sit and write something because I don't have a social life at all. So yeah. So you can find all that. The Fluffenhammer. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Blue Sky. You can find us on Threads. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook at The Fluffenhammer. Just search for The Fluffenhammer. You'll find us there. You can also find us on Discord, which the links are below this very show, and you can join us on the Discord. The Discord's a lovely place. Darren and Big Swinging D have a really they're just really good at making everyone feel welcome, and they just run that Discord beautifully. They're never officially given the title of running it, but they do, and they're amazing at it. So the frog is just nodding at me. It's so large. And I just wanted to give them a shout out for just doing that, because it was unbidden. They I don't even think they've realised that's what they've done, but they've they run that Discord beautifully.
Yeah, they're great.
They are. Pair of them. They're absolutely superb, and I've got nothing but good things to say about both of them. They're just wonderful people. So, with all that being said, we are going to get out of here. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and good night, no matter what shape you wake up tomorrow. Goodbye!
You can never know what it's like. You blood the light when the freezer just like us. And there's a cold along the light that shines from you. You want but the rip you hide behind that mask you use. And if you think this one could never win, well look at me, I'm coming back again. I've got a taste of love and a simple wit. And if you need to know why I'm still standing, you just fade away. Don't you know I'm still standing, better than I ever did. Looking up the turns around, feeling up and down again. Down the road and leaving me again. The threats you made were meant to cut me down. And if our love was just a service, you'd be found now. No, I'm still standing, better than I ever did. Looking up the church around, feeling up and down again. I'm still standing after all this time, picking up the best of all my life, red out till I'm on mine. I'm still standing, yeah. Still standing, yeah. Don't you know that I'm still standing, better than I ever did. Looking up the treasure, feeling like a little kid. I'm still standing here for all this town, picking up the pieces of my life, will that you on my mind. I'm still standing, yeah. I'm still standing, yeah. I'm still standing, yeah. I'm still standing, yeah.